I'm Evan Ham, just on the Kokomo Press Podcast. Said way too much edgy shit, so check us out.
Hey, this is Zack Dzuba, and I just finished doing the Kokomo Press Podcast. I have no idea how the fuck I'm getting home from here.
I'm Brian West, and I had sex with a male prostitute.
Warning, this video contains adult content not suitable for children.
Hey, what's up? You've tuned in to the Kokomo Press Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Grainger, and today I'm joined by one of my co-hosts. You know him, you love him. He's a stand-up comedian, he's an actor, and he's gay. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Allen West Jr. is in the house.
Hey, guys, what's up?
And then over here in our black chair, he has never been on this podcast before, but he does have his own podcast. He's not new to this, but he's true to this, ladies and gentlemen. Evan Ham. I'm using your stage name because I know it's the stage name. And then, of course, you know him from the Department of Menial Humor. And if you don't know him from the Department of Menial Humor, pause this, go there, check them out, come back, ladies and gentlemen. The very funny Zack Dzuba.
Oh, you're too kind.
All right, well, my son turned down all my audio, so that's the thing about having a kid. There we go.
There you go.
All right, I'm gonna fucking
Always playing with the settings.
Hey! All right, there we go. All right, anyway, I'll fix that in post. Don't worry about it. You people don't know what I'm talking about because I already fixed it in post.
I'll go ahead and do the elephant in the room. Evan, your family's worth a fortune. The ham.
The Ham family.
The ham family. You've been around countless Thanksgivings and Christmases.
Yeah, it depends on the time of the year. How he goes up.
I love your sandwich.
Thank you.
Let's not forget that it's their underrated but a widely celebrated champion competitor to Keystone Light when you're in college.
Oh yeah, hams. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got beer. We got deli meat.
You guys have it all. I mean, you've done it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's entire cultures that cannot eat you.
Yeah. Conquered many lands.
Stay away from me. That's funny. And then we got the man who originated the scuba. The scuba.
The scuba.
Is that what you tell people? It's like the scuba.
It's really funny because when I go outside the country, like I've been to Mexico, I've been to Canada, I've been to Okinawa, Japan. When I'm traveling abroad anytime, people pronounce it like Juba.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like au jus, that j sound at the end. They're like, oh, Mr. Juba. And like if you watch soccer, football, as they call it everywhere else, you'll hear him be like, Zubinski from the line. Oh, there's another goal from Zubinski. Right, and they're on Russian and Czech.
Yeah.
But as soon as you land in the United States, they're like, Da Zuba.
Yeah.
You gotta hit that
You got
D
it.
and
You
stick
got it.
it.
Nailed it, buddy.
Yeah, we kill it. We kill it over here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, let me get started by saying everybody in here is a stand-up comedian. So that's the first things first. You know, oops, all comedians. That's what this podcast is. Obviously, I met you for the first time at our open mic, Evan, and you came through to Kokomo, and then I seen you running around and around, and then I saw you again at the Slight Night, the round 2, where I also met Zack Dzuba.
Yeah, you both were judges on that.
Yeah.
Now I feel insecure about saying his last name. He's made me more insecure. Like I'm not worldly enough.
It's all right. It's totally fine. That's why one of my opening jokes whenever I go out, it's not even a joke. It's more of like a justification. I'm like, my last name is 5 letters long. It's easy to spell, impossible to say. Okay. Just get it out of here. That's why I don't have a stage name either, because when you have a last name like that, people are like, that's too much fun to say.
Yeah.
You'll pronounce it better if you have fun with it. Like pretend you're like I'm
Zuba.
See, exactly. 90s.
Very offensive, like.
Exactly. He gives me the
He heard Okinawa. He heard Okinawa earlier, and he was like, oh.
Especially in high school and college, people would give me the 90s Pacers introduction where they're like, Da Zuba.
That's the way it should be. Yeah. Anybody that calls you on stage.
Exactly. Came out.
Zuba.
Oh, yeah.
Dzuba missed the shot.
Yep.
God, not again.
And yeah, I know I'm 6'2", but that's actually how my basketball goes.
Drain another dick joke from a 3.
From the 3 inches. So dumb. Yeah. Anyway, I met Zack at the Slight Night, which is it's serendipitous at this point because are you going to be this next one?
I don't know.
They should bring you back as a host or as a judge because you were great.
Yeah, I'd love to be.
You were fantastic. But if not, you will see the 3 of us, myself, Brian Allen West, and Evan Ham at Slight Night round 3 final.
Who you facing? facing?
I'm facing a man who is 1/4 Mexican and 3/4 white trash. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Allen West Jr. We're doing an exhibition against each other.
I have so
that'll
much
be
angst built up against you.
Dude, I cannot wait to tell people I've had anal sex with you.
That's not, yeah.
I have to say anal sex because if I say just sex, then they're gonna just imagine about your pussy or something.
I'm busting it.
You're busting it.
May 17th is getting busted open.
We're gonna. The funny thing is, we're gonna be murdering each other so bad. You guys don't know us well enough. You're gonna be like, what the fuck are they even talking about?
Yeah,
He fucked his wife. Why would I care?
Exactly. It's crossed into like the personal offensive line. They're not even telling jokes anymore.
We just start
like,
fist
you remember
fighting.
last Thursday when you were over and you fucking left all your trash sitting on the counter? Yeah, you bitch.
Remember when you told me you loved me and then you didn't call me for like 3 days? And I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I was still scooping semen out of my ass.
Fucking, I quit my job for you. And
It is really going to turn in just a fucking Brokeback Mountain. What is it? I wish I could quit you.
I wish I could quit you. That's hilarious.
Yeah, you both are just gonna call each other bottoms, and we'll see what you believe. You know?
I'm coming out with
super
chocolate
excited.
fingers, so
Yeah, my final joke's like, we might be bottoms, but I'm the power bottom.
he puts the power in bottom. That's great. You're actually in the finals, Evan.
Yeah,
shit.
semifinals.
Did you think-
and
honestly,
finals that night?
When you looked at the lineup, were you like, I'm going to make it to the finals, or were you like, I'm just here to have fun? How did you feel about
going
it?
into it, I just wanted to like roast Jalen. I just thought we could get on and it'd be fun. And then after the first round, Kevin got the belt, and I was just so determined. I'm like,
that belt.
I'm getting this belt.
That's
But now
hilarious.
the belt, they're gonna make another bracket, and then the winner of that other bracket and the one who wins this one will get the belt. Anyways, I don't get it the 17th, which really is heartbreaking.
You should at least get it for like until the second bracket, and hell,
what
hold
I'm
on to it.
saying.
Why not?
Oh my gosh, Kevin,
We're going to
work this
pressure
out.
him. Let's peer pressure the shit
I'm
out
trying
of
to blow
Kevin.
this up because I want this belt so
He's
bad.
taking his last name way too seriously. He's like, I'm the King Jerry Lawler, and this is my belt, damn it.
It's his shit.
Yeah, it's a great show. I was there a couple weeks ago, a month ago. I don't know at this point.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, but I was judge, and that's where we judged together. And I met you, and I was like, these people are. I love the energy in that room. So many great comics. Like let's name some off. Ouija was there, kind of.
yeah, he was.
Yeah, played by Maya, who I'm facing next round.
That's crazy.
Which, by the way, he heard about and absolutely fucking loved.
I bet he did.
Like, he thought it was so.
If he's not anything, he's definitely a man of ego. I love him. He's a great guy.
but no, you
Him in
had
the first round was hilarious too because he had monologue style jokes.
Oh
that-
yeah, I went and watched it because I was like, I want to get an idea for the feel of this, and I was like, Ouija's decided he's doing soliloquies in this bitch.
They were epic.
Yep.
Were you at the first? Or were you at the first round? Or did you watch
wasn't
it
able
too?
to make the first one. Yeah, I reached out to Kevin when he got it started because he reached out to us since we'd already running our show. And
Yeah.
he was like, hey, I got some questions. I was like, absolutely, man. When he told us what he was doing, I was like, dude, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So I've told him, I was like, I'll come on anytime you need an alternate. I'll come on if you when you're putting things together and you need somebody, let me know. That's why you reached out and had me be a judge.
Perfect.
I think you guys had already been like this roast battles, especially when you have a thriving comedy community like down in Indy, as soon as there's an opportunity, there's just a flood of interest.
Oh, yeah.
from people. So
I think it's only going to get bigger with how well. I mean, the production's great. Do you guys know who's in charge of the production for the show?
he's brought in a buddy of his who does the sound
Darby,
and
right? Is it
audio.
Robert Darby?
Yeah, Robert Darby.
I've seen his name in the chat, but I don't know him, so I've just seen him in the chat. But he's done
It's
a great,
definitely-
fantastic job.
Yeah, it's sweet that it's all online. Like I love going back and watching it.
Yeah. I clipped a piece out of it because I had a good sick burn. I was like, I'm going to do this and at least maybe get people excited about it and kind of show a little bit. And it did. I mean, the clip did I.
I'm terrible at that. I'm just.
I need to clip more too, for sure.
I got on Facebook when it was called the Facebook.com, right?
Same.
You know,
Somebody
Yeah.
had to.
Yeah.
What year? Do you know the year?
It was 2005, and
Same.
you had to have
Hell
a
yeah.
.edu web address
Yeah.
to be a part of it. You had, and it was only certain schools because
Yeah.
they had only sent the invite, and only certain schools were allowing that to happen. Yeah, Evan, we're about to teach you something.
Invite only.
Listen
Facebook.
up here, young man.
Back in
Back in my day, when Facebook was first out, son. You didn't have to worry about your mama or your grandma or the police on there. No. It was literally our events page. I'm not kidding. It was just Thursday through Sunday. It was a list of addresses, the color of the Dixie cup, how much that cup cost, what was going to be in the keg or the jungle juice container. And it was just Thursday through Sunday.
Incriminating evidence on the internet.
Exactly.
On Facebook.
Exactly.
Hey, police, here's where we're at tonight, and this is what we're actually doing, and this is our ages.
In fact, I am upset because I'm gonna go. I'll just be it. I technically invented DoorDash. Okay. I did not capitalize on it the way I should have, because this is what I was doing in Muncie before they kicked me out. I was at Ball State for 1 year. Sent me a beautiful letter saying you're not going to your classes. 9 months off. Start paying your bills. Try
Put you
again
on
later.
leave.
Dude, that paper is thick. Like it's like a serious. It's like calligraphy style. Like woo, fancy writing. But anyway, well, part of the reason I got kicked out is I was only going to my theater classes.
Yeah.
And then also I was running a weed delivery business.
Oh, shit.
I wasn't selling marijuana. I was running a weed delivery.
That's
so I
not DoorDash. That's hashtag.
It was, because here was my deal. 30 minutes or less or it's free. And I had 13 guys I knew who would sell, and someone would reach out to me, and I would reach through the list and find somebody and then hop on my bike.
What year?
2005 through 2006.
Dude, 2005, 2006, in order to get weed, I swear you had to like call somebody, and then they're like, I'll be there. And then like 3 hours later, you're sitting outside a Kroger and you're like, what the fuck is going on right now? Am I ever going to get this?
Never gave a free bag away.
Yeah, never.
30 minutes or less. I also never went to class.
Yeah.
I was drunk all the time. I was constantly high.
I have no diploma, but I do have a felony.
But no. Like
kidding.
I put an expectation out there early that you should be able to order something and it should be delivered to you within a timely fashion.
I like that.
I'd like to think that somewhere out there I helped get weed to the guy who
That's hilarious.
got DoorDash.
Yeah.
So when did you? Okay, so let's start here. When did you start comedy?
Technically, professionally, about 3.5 years ago. Post pandemic, I started making films and then put out a music album, and then last but not least, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start doing comedy, and that was like 2017. Ish.
That's cool.
Like that. I don't know. It's been it's not 17.
That would be
It's just a blur.
Yeah, it's just it
2020 was.
You see, you don't even know the 1313 eatery. I don't know if you used to see the post for Chicken and Chuckles.
No, but I remember Chicken and Chuckles, but I don't remember.
heard of
Chicken, Nate Robinson.
Yep.
Yeah, Nate
Robinson, Chicken and
He's a good
Chuckles.
dude.
Yeah,
One of the
that's
first
where I started going.
comics I ever saw live here in Kokomo. He headlined a show.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got to work with Nate. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he's somebody we've tried to work with, and every time we try to find the right like show for him, something happens. And we all
Something goes down. We'll get him.
How long have you been doing comedy, Evan?
October. Started in
October. Oh, so you're just a baby.
He's just a baby.
Just a little
I'm
baby.
pretty fresh. I'm pretty fresh.
Brian and I have a
7 months.
constant
Don't
debate.
die of comedy SIDS. Whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Yeah,
That's called being canceled early.
Yeah,
He's into heroin now.
Well, we're gonna miss him. We're gonna miss him.
But I started the podcast a couple of years ago, so that was pre-comedy, and I feel like the podcast is more bold than the comedy oftentimes.
Yeah.
You're more yourself. I mean, like you feel more comfortable doing the podcast.
For sure.
Yeah.
And the topics, we just like it's called Friends with Differences. And sometimes I pry and I want to know where we're different at, you know?
Yeah.
And, you just get into some dicey conversations trying to get to the root of like why we're so different. But I love the aspect of it. It's like, we're friends at the end of the day, so we can have these conversations.
Yeah.
Right.
I
But
like
every
that.
once
I
in a
like the
while,
name.
The conversations can get me in trouble.
So you started the podcast in what year?
23.
2023.
Yeah.
Dude. And you said you got 4 seasons. How many?
3 seasons.
3 seasons.
I'm on episode 31. I
Yeah.
believe.
Do you turn them out at least more than one a week?
No. Every other week.
Every other week.
Yeah, and then in between seasons, I took months off.
Yeah.
Evolving co-host. Now I just do it myself, but had a co-host, Liam, and then Luke. Shout out both them guys.
Yeah. Friends with Differences. Check that out. If you guys haven't heard of it, here's the logo. You guys can go check that out. This is it on like all platforms?
Yeah, it's on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube.
You got the video? You guys have the video, right?
Yeah.
Your most recent episode is Maya.
Yeah, we're pre-gaming the Slight night. So,
oh man,
the round before was with Marissa Prentice, and she was super dope. And we just had a conversation. I was driving to Cincinnati for a Go Bananas open mic.
Hell yeah,
which was super sick. and we just talked for like, I don't know, like 20 minutes, half an hour about just life and whatnot.
Yeah.
Which was my first time doing that for a roast battle. But
Yeah.
We decided to do it as a podcast, me and Maya, for this upcoming round.
So is it normal for you to just beat up on minorities all the time? Couldn't you start with Jalen and then you went to women and then now you're Maya? It's like,
I mean, he's
He's
a
Andy
white guy.
Kaufman. Yeah. He's Andy Kaufman. You're gonna get a man and just get fucking pummeled.
Yeah, hopefully not. I don't know. Jalen was the only one I picked, and that was because we just go back. So I just
he did the production for your show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was like, I
Jalen's
met him
dope.
once before. We actually did this show together. It was the Fringe show or the Fringe show Pro-Am open mic, which I love the art direction of this like freak show
you.
vibe.
I didn't-
Like it's cool as fuck.
I didn't get to watch it, but I did hear Maya just fucked up Darren horribly. Like,
Yeah.
I heard it was
Yes.
a pretty good pummeling.
The first round.
Her
Yeah.
jokes were very solid, and then Darren's felt like he roasted himself more than Maya sometimes.
He's a gentleman,
I love
dude. He's a
Darren.
gentleman.
Yeah, he really was.
See, that's where I roasted tricky though, because the line between roast and bully is like really fucking fine.
yeah.
Like,
Dude, I don't know where it's at. I feel
Yeah,
like
Evan
more
fucking
people-
crossed that bitch and was hopscotching it
Yeah.
back and forth, dude. He was so
yeah.
mean.
I mean, I honestly, when it comes to roasting, like I haven't really done it like how
Yeah.
you guys are doing it, but
The battle.
nothing's. I mean, you could talk about my dead dad, talk about how like what my mom's opioid
Yeah.
addiction. Like I don't
Right.
give.
You're
a
giving
shit.
people material for this next
Yeah.
round
Yeah,
right
and
now.
that's why Marissa
Well-
was so dope, was because she just laid out her life and was like, yeah, go for it. You
Yeah.
know, like
Right.
joke about anything.
Yeah.
And, I mean, her life was, or has been probably a hell of a lot harder than mine.
Yeah.
You know, she like grew up in a trailer and
Shit.
sister was a stripper. I don't know. She just had a rocky.
Sounds like a cool life.
road. Super, I mean, she resulted as a super.
You tell her to get her ass
dope person.
back across 8 Mile. You're like, get your ass back across 8 Mile.
Yeah, I love the 8 Mile bit. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
doing a bar up there. That was fun.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Department of Menial Humor, because there's a lot going on there. You guys, the first time I had you explain to me, we were talking on like Instagram, and I'm like, I'm still unsure. I know it's a TV show of like a variety show.
Basically, yeah. I mean, I'll give you the quick origin story. So
Yeah.
I went to do comedy way back about 8 years ago. I went out to Pound Square to go do comedy. I got to see Lucas Waterfall. You guys
Waterfill,
know
yeah. He's got a
Waterfill.
shirt. He's got the shirt on right now.
Yeah, literally, you're wearing a Lucas shirt right now.
He's on our wall. That was our
Fucking
first
hilarious.
ever.
Okay,
It's all fucked up now.
Absolutely amazing comedy.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sets I've ever been able to do was a chance where he was headlining, and I got to be on the poster with him at
Hell
Pound
yeah.
Square Brewery, and I was like, "Oh, I've made it! I've made it as a comic on the bill with Lucas." But no, I go out and I get to see him perform. I missed the list sign up, so I'm sitting there, and I had this sort of aha moment talking to some of the comics where I realized that like our formula was messed up. Like I do acting and music as well, and I'm not going to say they're like super successful here in Indiana. You're going to struggle. You're going to get little stuff, but the formula for music is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Right? Anybody can't guarantee your success, but you know what to do.
Yeah.
You can find a studio. You can find an open mic. You can find a band. Same thing with acting. There's theater. There's commercials. There's all that stuff. But comedy, what I got was open mic ? Success. And I was like, that's the same formula for the underwear gnomes from South Park, man. Come on. Like, they're like, well, if you want to be really successful, you move to New York, LA, or Chicago, and then you do open mics, and then I don't know, and then success. And I was like, that's the same fucking formula, just with a Mary Kay twist, where you got to be in the right place.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told a buddy of mine who is a director I'd been in a film with. He had directed me in a film, and I said, hey, would you be the cameraman? Would you do directing for a TV show? If we made one, would you like the credits for that? And he was like, dude, I'd love the credits for that. That'd be awesome. And then light bulb went off. So I went to the Indiana Filmmakers Network and I said, hey guys, do you want credit for a TV show you can add to your resume? They were like, yes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Absolutely. And we were like, okay, let's build a resume builder. Let's build a dual-sided platform, like for the art, for the creator and the cinematographer and the sound guy and the writer. How do I get you a resume credit?
Yeah.
And then for the performer, how do I get you clip material? Because I love what we're doing, but a lot of people, let's be honest, the quality of the footage not so great. The
That's a
quality
fact.
of the
Yeah,
audio.
Friends with Differences podcast.
It's not so. I mean, podcasts. This equipment is great, but it doesn't serve a live show like a stand-up comedy show really well. So we always like, oh my gosh, let's create that because then I can give that material to people for free. All you got to do is reach out and ask for it. Darren Feinsilver actually reached out, asked for his raw, unedited footage so he could practice some editing himself. And I was like, dude, bet. Here you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Other people, we've got 2 cameras, so like a Netflix special where you got the 2 angles, and we're in tight, and we're tracking you and watching you. And
So who's producing?
that's me.
You do like, so who does the camera?
It's me and my
everything?
co-producer. So Sam Dumas is my co-producer, and he's our head cinematographer. And then we have 2 wonderful with either Murph Krasinski or Theo Banza, who are our other 2 cameramen, incredibly talented. Usually one or both will be with us. We've had Kenny Dunn, who did the sound for Fountain Square's concert series. He did some of our music in an early episode, did some of the sound setup. Miss Rose Key, who's a local musician, has been doing some of the audio work and musician booking for us here recently. A lot of it, man, is really just me. A lot of it is me and Sam.
Yeah.
Like a 2-man wrecking ball. But we were like, let's, Key and Peele's off the air.
Yeah.
SNL's hit or miss. I love it, right? There's no...
Julian Keeves is like peak sketch comedy to me.
Exactly.
They don't really do it anymore.
Exactly. Well, and then I realized, I was like, we got so many people making stuff, and like, I can't, if you're, let me be perfectly blunt to the people at home watching. If your YouTube or your TikTok or Instagram is so blowing up that you're making money, then with all due respect, you don't fucking need us. Bye, hi. Good to see you. But if you want to help, like, join in. But if you're not, like, our powers combined, Captain Planet fucking style, like, let's be a launching
I think you'd be an idiot not
So-
to want to collab with you, man, because what you're painting a beautiful picture.
So it's a TV show.
You know what I'm saying? It's dope, man.
So it's a TV show, and so what you guys do is every week, like how often?
last Friday of every month.
Last Friday of
we
every
didn't want to
month.
get in the way of the other shows, right? You guys running we want to boost you.
Yeah.
So I was like, if we go every week, we're stepping on toes. If I go once a month, like
it's nice that you get that.
Yeah, we got some issues in locally.
It's all taken care of now. But go ahead. Sorry.
but Indianapolis has the First Friday art shows, which have been going on forever.
Yeah.
And that's an establishment. I was like, well, why don't we do that for writers, comedians, performers? We'll do last Friday.
Yeah.
Because it's the weekend before First Friday. Once a month, anybody shows up at that show and says, hey, I'm here to help, we'll find you a credit.
Yeah.
One of the comedians who performed, or he's the musician, I think, he came out and performed. His buddy was like, hey, what can I do to help? At the end of the show, I said, hey, help me, stack up these cables. He gets a production assistant credit. That's literally a production assistant's job, is to pack up and tear down. So, like,
do you update the IMDb like weekly and stuff?
we don't have an
Or
IMDb
monthly?
yet. So
you
we
gotta
just
get that
got
on
the
there,
YouTube
dude.
channel, and we're working on it. But we've got a list of everybody who's worked on it. We've got the YouTube channel, and more importantly, like, if it's on a YouTube channel and you can cite it, and you can go to the end of the episode and see the credits, just like a TV show.
Just good,
you're good to go.
Well, you can also build like a reel, like an acting reel, if you go on there or whatever. So typically
2-3 hours live comedy.
The last Friday of every month. So the upcoming one is May 30th. It's at 8 p.m. It's at where's it at? The Bar and Grill.
Wonderful Bar and Grill, right
With
off
a
Pendleton
one.
Pike.
Okay. I'm like,
wonderful
fucking-
bar and grill off Pendleton Pike, and it is right off the exit. There's ample parking. It's one of the only venues where I guarantee that even if we had a full house, you'd probably still be able to find parking.
That's awesome.
Walk up to the door, and I'll have to tell you to go home.
Yeah.
But no, we start setting up at about 6:30. Anyone who wants to help, anyone who wants to perform, you just show up. I don't make a formal list. I make it very much on the fly. And this show, officially, we are paying anyone who performs.
Hell yeah. I like that.
Stage,
Woo! Paid.
So,
Imagine comics getting paid. That's amazing.
right?
That is beautiful.
It took years for actually Brian and I had to book our own shows to get paid.
Really?
Yeah. It's one of the weird things in our community that like we've figured out through working with other people, because like they're and this isn't a slight at anybody. This isn't a shot at anybody. I hope nobody takes it that way. But like we learned pretty quickly that we overextend. Like we do more than a lot of other shows do. Like the way we run things a little differently. We didn't know that initially. We just knew what we had saw here and what we worked with in the beginning. Cause like we started with like the same group here, and it was just so low key. There was like nothing. There was no pay. It was very hard to get shows. It was like you were kind of stuck in the mud. There was nowhere to go. And so when we decided to do our open mic and start doing our things like with actual comedians, we were like, we want there to be like incentives for people to come out. Like we want this to be a good show. Very similar to what you're talking about with the Department of Menial Humor, which is you want people to be able to
Yeah.
To not just drive an hour and go up for 5 minutes and go home. Like you
Yeah,
want them
give
to feel
them
like it's
something.
something. Like you leave with a cool picture of yourself, like on stage,
which was
like,
super dope. I didn't
Isn't
know
that crazy?
until I came out with Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin Hearthstone.
Yeah.
You had another
And,
guy with you too.
Andrew Irving.
Yeah, well, we're just buddies. I just ran into him there, and I was like, "Oh,
Well,
Andrew,
the
hell
crazy
yeah."
thing is he was
hilarious.
at your friend show.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
he's sweet.
he's so talented, so funny. I thought he was so great. Very dark humor. I like it.
sure.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting show because the panel you had was myself, Chelsea Sneddon, Zach, and then we had Stratton and Aisha,
Yep.
and it was we all have so different views on comedy, so it actually was pretty interesting to listen to like all of us go down the line, to figure out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was such a brilliant show. I really hope that people
Thank you.
catch on to how good that can be.
Yeah, I would love to like someday like also put it out, but it's also like navigating, you're putting out people's stand up. So
Yeah.
like vetting that through with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I make you sign a release. He's done my show twice.
Yeah.
And I make people sign releases. and we've got signage basically explaining.
I got a homie that just live streams it, and if you don't want it, it's happening. Anyway.
It's happening regardless.
He's just doing it.
I think that's how Ouija does it sometimes too. He's
Yeah.
just like, I'm going live.
Shout out to the homie Von Juan from Gary,
on
Indiana.
Facebook tonight, homie.
I'm like,
Exactly.
I always check it to see how many views. I'm like, thank God. Like, I love Vaughn to death. He's been on the show. He's great. He's such a sweet dude. He loves comedy, but
It's like I don't think his crowd really likes incest and pedophilia. So
yeah, it's not a good
not a
dude.
big fan of my shit.
Not a real big fan.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. No, you're good. Never mind.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
I
Speaking
read
of
something
watching your own live, I was doing a concert. Oh fuck, I don't even remember where. I was hosting an event, and I was there to do. They had me booked for like comedy and music, and I'm like the MC, so I'm just all over the place, and I'm barely finding time to myself. So what I had done was to get a moment by myself. I'd set up one cell phone to go live on like Facebook, and I had a second cell phone because at the time I had a work phone, and I had gone out to my car to go like smoke and like hit my vape and stuff, and I was gonna go watch the live to see where everybody's at so I don't miss the timing of anything. And I pop in and I shit you not, that bitch went from 0 to 1. And I was like, no fucking way. I'm the only one watching my own goddamn live right now.
Been there. That
I
happened.
stopped caring.
so many times.
Do you know how many people watch your lives after your live? I stopped caring about
that's true.
the eyeballs up there. That shit don't even matter. Like I've been judging this show called it's a rap contest. It's a hip hop contest called the City of Verses. So I don't know. I'm very much like you, Zach. I'm also into music. Like I'm in a band. My band's going to be playing actually tonight. So if you've seen this, we had a great show at the North End Pub in Lafayette. But if you didn't, come see me at Outhouse Records. Actually, I'll just throw this up there. Outhouse Records on May 24th. We'll be there with the Indian Hourglass, Canopy, and Pathetic. But yeah, my band is a post-hardcore band. But like I'm a big hip hop head. Like I always have been. So I ended up judging this motherfucker. And it's crazy because I'll basically just go live and I'll just review and I'll do my judging live so they can get my feedback. And I'm doing this, not paying attention. And the next thing I know, I go to look at it a couple days later and it's like almost 10,000 views on this video of me just judging rap. And I'm like, in the moment, there might have been like 50, 60 views.
Jordan judging black people's
That's my favorite thing to do. That's my favorite. I literally been my ancestors have been doing it since a long time ago. All right.
Terrible.
It's terrible.
All right. I do have a quick question. No, I got a real question though, because I am just curious.
Yeah.
Like,
I would bet
what
on this one.
the fuck is post-hardcore?
Post-hardcore, it's like hardcore, but like after.
Okay, so wouldn't that be softcore again? Because like once you've gone hard, it gets flaccid.
No, softcore is pornography. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think post-hardcore, it's funny because I always joke around with my buddy Maddie. It's like they're singing and they're screaming. That's what I just say. So you'll have like breakdowns, you'll have like fun time signatures. That's really the main thing is like you'll hear like a 5/4, you'll hear like it's a 7/8. You'll hear like, you know what I mean? Like, or yeah, 7/4. A 7/8.
I say this
I'm horrible with
this as a musician myself.
Yeah.
with much love and respect.
Yeah.
We musicians need to stop putting random fucking words together and claiming it's a style of music.
I'm telling you, dude.
Okay.
To me, I just say we be loud.
Distinct.
Like if you were to say Baroque hardcore, I was like, now that I can understand because you got Baroque style music and you're going to play with hardcore instruments.
Well, I'm a local original music, so I'm definitely Baroque.
Yeah.
What's a chapel?
Yeah, what's a chapel rowing while we're on the
You mean
subject?
the Dave Chappelle Roan? You talking about Dave Chappelle Roan? Yeah. I always say that because when I first saw Chapel Roan, I was like, is her name Chappelle Roan? Hey, you better get out of here.
Dad,
What?
you never,
Aw. What's wrong, Bubba? You having a rough time?
you never watched that SpongeBob.
All right, go tell him what's SpongeBob time. Shut the door.
It's definitely SpongeBob.
Shut the door. Go up there to SpongeBob. Happens once a podcast, I swear to God.
So SpongeBob.
That was my son, everybody. He's here telling me that he wants SpongeBob. His brother doesn't ever let him watch SpongeBob, so that's the
Gotta
back
put
and
the
forth.
SpongeBob on. Yeah.
What's up
Dude,
with the brother? No,
Yeah,
just kidding.
what's up with him, man? He just wants to watch like
SpongeBob?
superhero shit all the time.
He's a big Spider-Man guy.
He'll just come in here and start doing Spider-Man shit all the time. It's
Just start
crazy.
jumping around.
Yeah. What were we talking about before? It became a babysitting situation.
Music.
No,
You do
funny.
music as well
Yes.
on your show. I love your like intros and transitions. All like give like Chappelle intro vibes.
Thank you. That's what we're trying to copy.
Yeah, nice.
That's,
Oh, yeah.
I loved I love Chappelle's music segments. Like
Yeah.
I think Chappelle, and that's something we tell musicians all the time is like, let us give you your SNL Chappelle show moment.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if you got an amazing video. Oh, one of my favorite segments. I think it's episode 2 or 3. This guy, musician, Really Go, local rapper. He comes out, and I met him before, and I had seen he had this video that he had shot for one of his songs, and it was just gorgeous. I mean, these fucking flying drone shots over downtown Indianapolis in the winter, and these just beautiful, just aesthetically amazing, well to put together video. So I said, you gotta come out and do the show. He comes out. I said, here's what I want to do. We're gonna start with you live, and we're gonna record this. And then when we go put it on the episode, we're gonna fade from that live introduction straight into the video that you made so that we can show everybody this amazing
sick.
camera.
Oh yeah. And who was this?
Really Go.
Real ago. Who do you know who did the video?
I think he did it himself.
He did it himself.
Yeah, because I always check with people beforehand. Like a good producer, you got to be like, do you
Yeah.
own the rights to your own music? Do you own the rights to your video? You know, who else do
Well, I
need to
know
contact?
in Indy, like our buddy Brian Foster, who he has a movie actually on Amazon Prime right now. You can go check it out. It's called Marijuana. Brian and I are both in the movies.
Oh yeah,
it's
I've heard of this.
It's a slick film. It's
should
really
check it
good.
out.
It's really good. I think it's $2.99 to rent, and it's like $9.99 to buy off of Amazon Prime, which that's affordable as hell, especially to support like local indie creators and like a lot of people from here. Like there's so many Kokomo
Is
people
there-
in this thing.
Is Darren on that? Or
No,
Stratton?
Darren's
Not that one.
He's
They're in a
working.
different zombie
He's
movie?
working on a different zombie movie.
Yeah.
Up north of.
Is that with Bob? Bob East? I think he said.
I think Bob East and then Stratton Smith is
Oh, hell
part
yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Chris Lucas.
I like
is the buddy of his who's doing that. He came out.
Let me ask. What you say you're a musician? What do you play?
I'm
Ukulele?
multi-instrumentalist at this point. Yeah, because I wrote the intro to the song. The intro music to the Department of Menial
hell
Humor
yeah, dude.
that's my original composition. And then I shot the opening sequence of me all over Indianapolis rolling around. I literally set up a camera and just was like, God, I hope I'm in frame. Just one take, a whole bunch of stuff all over.
That's the hardest thing about shooting things is I saw somebody, I brought this up before, but somebody was like, the hardest thing about stand-up comedy is having a friend with a good camera. Because like you
right?
really need clips and like to get on the internet, but like getting a good videographer, photographer, like that shit is difficult. Like it's
Right.
more difficult than you'd ever imagine. Because like even if you're good at it, you can't do it and then put yourself on camera. It's hard as fuck.
Exactly.
I feel like I'm horrible at it. Like
Oh,
people
yeah.
are like, "Yo, will you take a picture of me on there?" I'm like, "Yeah," and then I look back and I took 30 and they're all blurry somehow.
Why does my eye look like that? I don't even look like that normally.
Yeah. No,
funny.
I say it all the time that we often celebrate the talent in front of the camera. We forget to celebrate all the talent that goes behind the camera to make that look so good.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
like the
no, I've been
quarterback
in.
getting all the praise and us linemen, you know.
Yeah.
Fucking lineman.
I'm in the trenches, bro.
No,
you know.
You know, what is it? I just said this to a Uber passenger the other day. Because for those of you watching at home, I executive produce and CEO my own fucking production company. And what do I do to pay the mortgage? Uber.
Uber, yeah.
But no, I say it was a line from Futurama. When you do something right, people won't think you've done anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true because everybody sees the finished product. And then the other thing that I always tell, I was just on a show called with our buddy Scrap Lotto. He's a rapper and he's nutty. He's the man. He has a show called Music for Life, and it's a new podcast that he basically gets in with people that do music, and it's a great show. Nice. But one of the things I talked about on there is that musicians, and I mean comics, a lot of people, once you do something, people will like post it a few times and then they'll just pretend like it's weird to keep posting. And I'm like, fucking post it every week, because like you put so much work into something, and then people see the finished product and they don't realize how like many layers of work you had to do to get to the point where you're at, and they just see the end product and they're like, oh cool, and then they click it to it's hilarious to me. Yeah, it's hilarious. We won't promote ourselves.
I should, like, because I'm definitely that way. I'm just not generally inclined to be great at social media, but I don't generally post frequently or the same stuff often. Yeah. And even with like comedy, I try to do new stuff all the time. And I have like retired stuff for no reason.
For no reason.
Yeah. Like
probably because you go to the same mics and you don't want to keep doing them because people look at you like you're weird. And
especially like early on when I had like a showcase every month and that was what I was promoting. Yeah. Oftentimes the same people would show up for me month to month, and it's like I don't want to lose them, you know.
Yeah. We do. I mean, our mic is, you know, we basically have the same core group of people. So like it's getting to the point now where some of us will do a joke and everybody will just be repeating the punchline, like almost like fucking.
It's kind of heartbreaking. Like I did Mucky Ducks.
What's in the bowl, bitch? That's what it feels like. You know what I mean? Like that type of shit. And it's like that's not normal. But tell me about Mucky Duck. Sorry.
Well, yeah, it was a similar thing where I was just like doing a joke. I do have a joke about like pro-choice vegans and ripping on the hypocrisy of that.
Yeah.
And I did like the whole setup, and right before the punchline, I heard a comedian just say like, "Oh, I love this joke," and it just broke my heart that they like were so familiar with it. Yeah. But it was like praise, but I was just like, Jesus, I'm giving you nothing new, huh? Damn.
Yep.
It was interesting because like I've seen you do comedy, but the first time I ever saw Zach do comedy was at your show. So that's interesting. And I think you've only seen me do like twice. You seen me twice because you saw me at my show, and then you saw it at our show. I guess. I guess I'll let.
And you on the judges panel.
Yeah.
Epic.
I love anything. Anytime I can be like off the dome, that's where I'm better. I'm actually better probably at that than anything else, just because I'm so well read. You know, I'm so cool. I'm such a fucking cool dude.
So smart
and quick. That's what you said to me afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, it gave me such a good compliment today." He said I was quick. Normally, when girls tell me that, I feel really ashamed.
Context.
No, but then I messaged you afterwards, and I gave you the same advice we just talked about earlier, which is fucking promote yourself. Put your face on the damn flyer because you're the host. This is your show. I want to see your face on the flyer.
See,
I love it.
I will say with the Department of Menial Humor, that is something I'm very big on. And it's not, put simply, I'm a huge advocate that out here somewhere, I keep knocking into your fucking mic like an asshole.
All right.
I'm like, we need in Indianapolis, there's a Kevin Hart, there's a Adam Sandler, there's somebody here in town, and if we can find who that person is that everybody's going to want to watch, listen, yada yada, we all eat.
Yeah.
Like the goal of the show is long run, how do we build a production company here in Indiana so that we can start
how we build stars, people that exactly.
And so for that reason, on our flyers, we don't have anybody's faces. I also, and this is much love and respect, I don't know, I can't guarantee. I think I reached out to Evan one time and said, hey, can you come out and make the show? And he's like, I might be there, I'm not sure. And then he's shown up twice unexpectedly, and I needed him because the people weren't able to show up, family, my kid's sick, my car broke down, yada yada. So there's not enough consistency in showing up. And so when we put out our flyers, we're very big on trying to find iconography that's going to be like, how do I build something like a Nike swoosh?
Yeah.
Right. Let's brand the show. You like that?
I love it.
Indiana State.
That's the coolest fucking poster.
That's on my business cards too.
I like
now.
this a lot.
Yeah, that's on my business cards.
It's great. It's great because it took two things we've all seen. You know, a microphone and the state flag. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As soon as I made it, I was like, I can't believe that. I'm a terrible father when it comes to my art, okay? I abandon my children as soon as they leave the house. I'm just like, goodbye. This one here, though, is one of the few ones where I made it, and I was like, fuck, even I'm proud of that.
Yeah, that's one thing. Is like, who did your poster for the Fringe show?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and so, like... like, it was interesting because I did a little bit of homework and listened to the last episode of the Kokomo Press, which was great. And
Thanks.
Courtney and
Stacia and Anna.
Anna. Yeah,
Annie,
super great. And I think Stacia was talking about like using ChatGPT and stuff.
Yeah.
And I definitely used it to make like the frames around the headshots.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've had conversations about like the ethics of that, you know.
Oh yeah, we've done that a lot on this podcast.
Okay. Yeah. I've done it a lot on my podcast. I've talked way too much about AI,
Dude, no,
but I used it. I admit it. I did it.
Yeah, I did it, dude.
What's the first thing you noticed about Stacia?
I'll tell you two things. And one's not in the pocket. I just listened and figured out what the website was.
Subscribe.
Stacia's great, dude. She's really, I mean, we've had a couple of girls who do OnlyFans. She's the first girl we've had on, or woman, model on the show that we've had that does like, she does like burlesque, like fully nude. Like she does these grand shows all over the United States, gets booked like for her talents. She's like great at what she does.
Yeah, it was cool to like listen just around like running shows that aren't comedy.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's something that we all like. If you're in I always joke around because like I got into it with a rapper a while back, and we were kind of going back and forth, and I was just like, motherfucker, I'm Childish Gambino, dude. I can do it all. Like, motherfucker, you do rap, which is great, but I do it all. I do music. Are you gonna pee? Brian's peeing. For shame. For shame. For fucking shame. Everybody shame Brian for peeing. Every time he leaves, I shame him. He probably messed up everybody's cameras. He's like, so nah, he's good. We'll make fun of him every time. So now that Brian's gone, let's have some jokes in here. You know what I mean? Like, god damn.
I mean to say something about him.
I've been meaning to say.
What's that smell?
Yeah.
That's my question. No,
He's got a patina to him. It's definitely, it's that Latin flavor. No, he's a quarter Mexican. That's true. Yeah.
A quarter Mexican.
Yeah, like Taco Bell. Like a quarter Mexican. You know what I mean? Like a fourth of this is Mexican. The rest of it, we don't know what the fuck it is. Like cat food.
The rest is just says mutt.
Yeah. But it's funny. We all like have an affinity for Lucas Waterfield because, like I said, you used to love Lucas. You're wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
He got him in your comedy, and then he was our first ever headliner for
Lucas has got the only Donald Trump joke that I've ever respected.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because Donald Trump isn't. It's like it's too easy to make fun of Donald Trump.
It is.
You can't say any. And in fact, actually, I have a whole bit about the fact that you can interchange, and we shouldn't be able to do this with American leaders of any kind, any world leader. Ready?
Yeah.
You can interchange quotes from the Joker with quotes from Donald Trump, and you can change the accent, and you won't actually know who it belongs to because they sound correct, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's see here. Let's go with an easy one. Ready? This is a recent one. Ready? They're eating the cats and dogs.
Yeah.
In Springfield, Ohio. They're eating cats and dogs, Harley. Right? Likewise, you can be like, get me this goddamn bat. Do you want to know why I don't smile? You want to know what these scars are? When I was a kid, my dad said, you don't smile enough. You need to smile more. Right? You shouldn't be able to do that. I can't do that with George Washington or George W. Bush. As dumb as he was. Like, I can't take a Barack Obama quote and say it as Sinestro from the fucking Justice League and it sounds correct. But Donald Trump, you can.
Yeah.
That's so. But no, Lucas has got. He had a joke. It was his first term. Trump had just recently been elected. And Lucas had this joke where he said, "A lot of people don't respect Donald Trump, but I'm an American."
Rebel Angel Stevens.
I don't know who that is calling me. That was weird.
Whoa.
It was a very weird situation.
Sounds like an
Angel
OnlyFans
Stevens.
name.
Hello.
Come on, dude.
No, I swear I don't even know who that is.
You paid for this live chat.
Live Jasmine.
Yeah, exactly.
That was fucking bizarre because I've never heard of that person.
But this isn't.
They just took over my shit. They just took over my fucking shit. I don't know what happened.
This isn't a call-in show, but no. His joke is that he doesn't respect Donald Trump, but he's got so much respect as an American and a patriot for the office of the president that if the president asked him to suck his dick, he would. Not because he respects Donald Trump, but because he's that much of a goddamn patriot. And he has that much respect for the office of the president. And I was like, that is a fucking brilliant goddamn
I wonder if it
joke.
just stops at president. Like
Yeah.
vice president? Is
Dude,
that?
I don't know
is
if you know
still
that. Yeah,
qualified?
right. Where does that line stop?
Secretary of State.
I'm sorry, homie. Your only job is to tie votes in the Senate.
far
I'm
down
afraid
that?
I don't go that.
How far down the chain of command do you suck dick? That's funny. No, our buddy Sean has a really good Donald Trump joke that I think is so solid, and it's just about how Donald Trump's basically a black man, and he goes through like all the things that make him more black than you, and it's so funny, dude. It's such a solid joke. I love it. But yeah, I that's the great thing about having a Republican president is it's so much easier to make jokes, and comedy is so much easier because everybody's going to be on your side if you make fun of him. But if you make fun of Barack, everybody's like, "How dare you talk about Barack Obama, our precious Obama?"
Seems like anything's on limits right now.
I'd like to think that like folks like Jon Stewart have more of a mindset that I've always joked that I like to stand as far into the center as I can. That way I can sling mud at everybody.
Yeah, I can piss in each
Right?
direction.
It's better to throw mud at both sides because we can make fun of people.
Rebel Angel Stevens
Honestly,
calling the Kokomo.
There's somebody calling the Kokomo Press page right now. I might answer this,
Dude,
guys.
I
If they
bet
continue to call.
Oh my god!
Go to the caller.
Oh my god! I hope it's a hot scoop and they think you're a real newspaper.
Hold on, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to answer this because they're
Oh
calling
my
me,
god!
and I'm
That's
going to call them.
amazing.
They're on the podcast, so try to be quiet right now. I'm going to call them, and I'm going to let's see if I can call them. It keeps ending. What the fuck? It keeps playing on here, but then it doesn't want to call when I want to call her.
We're getting pranked.
If they say anything about paternity, please hang up.
They said they want us to come to a dance. I'm on a podcast, Rebel. When people message the page like this is so rare to have somebody call the page. Nobody ever calls the page. We did have 2 great comics from Fort Wayne. Do you guys know Lily Grace, Gilliana Grace, and Blaine Stevens? They're both from Fort Wayne. They were I think they're a couple, and they were very funny. If they call again, I'm answering it right here, guys. I'm going to.
No, you should.
instantly.
You should.
Because they're now interrupting our podcast, dude. This is your time to shine, and they think it's okay, dude.
Motherfuckers.
I know, dude.
trying to
What do you
talk
think this is?
about-
The fucking Howard Stern show?
I think it's hilarious. You came in and did a Joker impression wearing that outfit right now.
Yeah,
you do
you
look
think
like.
that's-
As soon as you walked up, I was like, "This guy's about to fucking."
Is that the same?
No, because I was
jacket you
wearing
wore
it's the same
at
shirt, but it
Fringe
was
show?
wearing yes,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Do you ever get?
Yes.
I also
Definitely
got to
got
ask. Do you ever
Joker
get
vibes.
Bill Hader? Do people?
I've gotten Bill Hader. I get the lead singer of Puddle of Mud when I wear a baseball hat backwards.
Wes Scantlin? Is that his
Yeah,
name?
Wes Scantlin. Yeah. The 2 biggest though are in recent years, especially as I start getting more gray in my beard. I get Hugh Laurie when I wear a jacket.
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Or Matthew Lillard.
Okay.
People
yeah.
for years, like I used to go by the name Shaggy. And my wife knew me as Shaggy
Wasn't me.
for years. And
I
it's
can see
because
that, yeah.
2005, like before that, people would be like, you look like the first killer in Scream. Do you know how hard it is to get a date with somebody when you look like the first killer in Scream? I have to have her back at 11 or earlier every time. No questions asked. Okay?
Seriously, it's
Like-
either that or are you getting high with that dog again?
Exactly. No, it was 2005. The movie had just come out. I'm in the drive-thru of a KFC in Pendleton Pike over in the Lawrence area of Indianapolis. I'm in the drive-thru. I am high as shit. I'm getting a family-sized popcorn chicken because it just had come out. That shit was bomb-ass delicious. And I'm getting family-size even though it's just me. I'm high as shit, okay? I got into the drive-thru. The window opens up. This is exactly what the woman said. You look like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
And you said,
And then it didn't stop for 15 fucking years.
yeah.
Like for the first 5 years, employee discounts everywhere I went.
Oh shit!
Damn.
So you
People would be like, "My kids love that movie."
Okay, I do have an
Do you
update
have a
here.
Meyer card? No,
I
don't.
did fill out why we can't answer the call, and it's because Courtney answered it. This is what she said. She said, "We just got a call to the page about a strip club taking couples. She wanted to know if we would take couples at the strip club." I said, "I don't know. Maybe you should call the strip club." They thought we were a strip club. I want you to know. I don't know what the this is what I mean.
The hip hugger, right?
We represent apparently it's like we have the weirdest interactions with people as much as your interaction, like randomly having people be like, like you look like Shaggy and you're like, it wasn't me. And then you're like, I'm running away. Right. And it's like dealing with all that shit is wild. But I'm like, our page, like we've like, like the lady that messaged us and was like, "Hey, I have this used sex doll. Do you want it?" And I'm like, "What? Pre-owned sex doll? What are you talking about?" Like people just want to give us the weirdest shit.
Has it been cleaned?
Has it been used? Huh?
Is she upstairs?
Yeah, she's in the closet. She's gay.
Dude, as a filmmaker, the things I would do, and it's nothing sexual. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
It's nothing I would just just constantly be working on a shot-for-shot remake of Mannequin using a sex doll. Like that's
My thing is,
what
I wanted
else
to.
do you do with it?
There's nothing more I wanted to do than to put the sex doll in the chair after Stacia and then like keep cutting away and then cutting back and it's just a sex doll and it cuts away because she does. They're so similar looking. I swear, like it's her big ass titties.
It's not a
I
blow-up,
would
right?
be-
It's like a full.
It's a full like.
Oh my god!
sex doll.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's heavy as fuck, like legitimately heavy.
Yeah.
So the girl that
Ragdoll.
gave it to us, or she said it hasn't been used. That's what she told me, and I believed her. But she said it hadn't been used because she has all these sex toys because she did like pure romance. You know what I mean? And her husband was like, "Well, why do you get all these sex toys and I don't get none of them? You got all these cool ones. Why don't I?" And so she's like,
Damn,
"Okay."
so
Let me
she
get
got
a
him like the
fake person.
Millennium Falcon Lego
So
set.
she bought him a
of adult
$700
toys.
sex doll. A $700 sex doll. It's got like it's an insane sex doll. She buys this thing for him. He throws his back out at work before it gets there in the mail. The thing is so heavy, the motherfucker couldn't pick it up to fuck it. So she's like, it's just, and then they
It's
broke up, and
weird,
she's like,
yeah.
it just sits in my house and it creeps my kids out.
Oh my
can't fuck
god!
it. Like,
You
too
can't.
heavy to fuck.
You can't.
It's like my kid's almost 15 years old. I can't have
Oh my god!
I can't have a $700 sex doll in my house with my son turning 15 years old. Like it's gonna get fucked.
Yeah,
like, it's
we've
gonna
all
get
seen
fucked.
that episode of Rick and Morty. Yeah.
He's gonna be determined enough to
the
pick it
first
up.
week he
for
had it, I
sure.
came in here. He had it sitting right there, and I put my finger like in its mouth, fucking around. Dude, it was coated. The mouth was coated. Come to find
my
out,
God.
They thought
that
I
little
fucked it. My
that little
son.
boy put a banana in it.
My son was like, put this banana in there.
It felt like combo for real. Yeah.
I would be putting it in like a golf cart and then setting it up so that as we turn sharp, it like falls out in front of a cop and like hits the ground and like I'd be setting up like candid camera
the shit out
style
of it.
shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I thought about growing my bangs out and doing like a part again because I did that before, and then doing like just the TikTok videos where I get to my girlfriend, we hang out on the
God.
weekends, like,
Right.
and like slowly I say we have a baby together, like just an entire saga. I could become like I could probably sell out Helium doing that, but doing comedy I'll never fucking get anywhere.
I got a mechanical wheelchair. We can like rig it like an RC car. I'm rolling around.
I cannot be trusted. Dude, when I worked in Muncie, do you know Domo, a Japanese hibachi restaurant in Muncie, Indiana?
I know
by any
Domo
chance?
Arigato.
Okay.
Arigato.
There's the Japanese restaurant over in Muncie named Domo. Used to be the head chef. My buddy was the hibachi chef.
Yeah.
And we get these Atlantic salmon. We cut them down. They come to us with only their belly slit. So, of course, I'm putting like a cigarette
Like
in its
another
mouth and
sex
hiding
toy.
behind the door and like, hey, baby, let me get a night. Scaring the waitresses and stuff. And then there was one day where we convinced the boss to let us take home like 18 fish heads. And he's like not going to do it. He knew we were up to no good. We're like, no, we're culinary. We're chefs. We're interested in food. We're going to make fish head stock and we're going to use it for all kinds of. And we managed to convince him to let us do it. And of course, that night, I ding dong ditch somebody's friend of ours' house and leave one on the doorstep. And never answer any questions about it, right? And then I told my buddy Kyle, I said, put these in your trunk. He said, what are we going to do with them? I said, we're going to go around godfathering people we know.
Yeah.
With fucking fish heads. It's going to be amazing, right? Fucking dude left them in his car and forgot about them, got stoned.
Jesus.
It was like 4 weeks later.
Oh, what? You can't forget for
We're riding
4
back from the
weeks.
restaurant and I was like, shit. You didn't put those fish heads in the freezer, did you? And he was like, oh, fuck! Like, dude, when
No
he
way.
sold
He
that
thought about
car,
that thing for 4 weeks.
when he
Didn't do
sold that
anything.
car months later, he still said part of the reason he was selling it is he cannot get the smell of the
God
fucking fish
damn.
out of the
That's so
goddamn trunk.
funny,
Yeah,
dude.
he pranked himself.
Yeah, he got himself.
Horrible.
I really want to
So-
know what his ex smelled like
that's
if
what
he
I'm
just
saying.
didn't even notice
Like,
it.
look what happens when I have fish heads. I can't be trusted with a $700 fish sex. It's almost 4th of July season. I will have mortar fireworks before
What's
you
that
know.
smell? My car has bacterial vaginosis.
Exactly.
Exciting things are happening at the Kokomo Press. Yeah, very exciting things. Not only are we bringing you comedy shows, an open mic once a week, skits, videos, funny jokes on our page, and satire news stories, but now you can support us by going to kokomopress.shop. It's that simple. You go to kokomopress.shop, you find a t-shirt, you find a hat, maybe in the future some stickers and some posters. You go on there, you buy one of those from us, and percentage of the proceeds will go to us us and help support what we do. We appreciate every person who just likes, subscribes, does all that. But if you go to kokomopress.shop and you buy something, we'll know who you are. You send us a photo of it. We will post it on our page and shout it out. Thank you so much. Go to kokomopress.shop, buy all your shirts and hats needs, and support the Kokomo Press. Thank you guys so much. kokomopress.shop. It's got BC, bro. I can't help it.
Oh,
No, that's
Jesus.
horrible. So a bunch of fish heads. Fish head soup, I've heard people like that shit.
Yeah,
so
it's good.
you said you were in Japan. Like, were you in the Navy?
No, my
Marines?
sister was. My sister married a medic for the Marines, and he got stationed out in Okinawa. So my mom was working at the airlines at the time, and this is like 2005, 2004. So I'm in high school.
Yeah.
Later years, and she was like, "Hey, I got this chance for like $900. We can all go visit your sister for 2 weeks in Okinawa.
Hell yeah.
Fly round trip." And I was like, "Shit!" And the school was like, "No," and she was like, "Fuck you. When are my kids ever going to go?" Yeah. So I just spent 2 weeks bumming around Okinawa with my brother on a very tight leash because they thought we were we're the coolest fucking dudes there. It was like February. Everybody's wearing like parkas, but it's like 60 degrees and balmy. So we're in like shorts and shit. Everyone's trying to be American at that point in Japan. Yeah. And so everybody's wearing like American clothes. And my brother and I were like, fuck American Crombie and Paris. So we were wearing like red, like grunge stuff. So all these like Japanese girls are like looking at us and being like, oh, that's what Americans like. Oh, and we're like, oh, we're fucking up your perspective entirely right now because we are losers entirely back home. But no, it was awesome. I'd wake up in the morning, 18 years old, and leave my sister's apartment after my niece and nephew wake me up from like, sleeping on the couch, walk outside, walk over to a vending machine, pop in a couple of yen, get a pack of cigarettes, go to the next vending machine, pop in a couple of yen, get a hot can of coffee as good as Starbucks.
Hell yeah.
Next to it, the same machine, you could also do a cold can.
Yeah.
Then next to that, once I'd had my coffee and a cigarette, a couple more yen, get a fucking beer.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right next to each other, just like
How old were you?
vending machine. 18.
18? Yeah.
18. I started
Yeah, he's not telling you about the vending machine with all the used panties in it. He's not telling you. He's like, another one. Hey, why is the crotch pixelated? This makes no sense. This is bullshit.
No, because back then we didn't have like cool ass shit in our vending machines here at home.
No.
Like you'd go to like the claw machine to be Beanie Babies and shit. So when I went there, it was the first time that I'd seen like one of those like light games. And the fucking grand prize was a handheld PlayStation. And I was like, what the flying fuck? I dumped so much money into that machine. I was like, come on, Blitz. You're supposed to have trained me for this. Come on, Blitz.
It's like the first time at a casino where it's like they have the arcade machines, but you can win just like $1,000 cash or something. And you just don't know how to play anything else. So you're like, oh, I'm going to the arcade where I can gamble.
If the Hoosier Racing Casino put in a skee ball machine with a high score that paid out, think about how much fucking money they would make from people like us.
Just ways. See, the funny thing is, I've only been to one. I went to some weird casino when I was stationed up in Seattle, like in the Washington State. That's the only one. I went in there. I think I was like, I'm going to use $50. I went through the $50 in like an hour, and I was like, this is fucking bullshit. And I never wanted to go. I'm like, I don't like losing. But if I would have won that first time, it might have had they might have created a Norm Macdonald on it. Hey, fucking, let me get some more. Hey, blackjack.
Indian casino, yeah.
It was. No, I don't think it was Indian.
Well, because there's a different type. You have the regular casino and an Indian casino. A regular casino isn't going to make up new rules to blackjack. Indian casinos are going to make up all their kinds of new fucking rules. They'll be like, jacks are wild.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's so fucking crazy. It's fun. It is. But don't if you think you understand the rules, you don't. Once you go to an Indian casino,
you know what you say when you lose? You know what you say when you lose in an Indian casino? How? All right, I apologize for that one. Okay.
Probably should call it a Native American casino.
Yeah.
But no, anyway.
I was letting you
Well, that's what I grew up. My family's from Michigan, so that's what we grew up. That's what I grew up hearing them called because it's not the same as like the Horseshoe Casino here, where it's run by the state or it's like sanctioned by the state sort of thing. Theirs are more on what would be considered more of traditional, like a reservation setup.
Yeah.
So it's a difference.
Not to mention like all the cartoons we watched growing up, like Family Guy and South Park and stuff. They always they had that trip of you go to Indy Casino, they take your car, they take everything from you. You got to go on like a spiritual.
Yes.
That's how I always look at it.
Exactly. Well, I grew up also in the Southwest, out in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah.
So out there, you have a whole wide range. Like I had a grandma in Tahoe, California. I don't think the bitch ever visited us. And I know I just called my grandma a bitch, but I don't care. She was not the nicest of people. And I can recall distinctly that we often met her in Vegas or Tahoe or Reno so that she could gamble.
Yeah.
Like it was the 90s.
That's what
she had to gamble.
Dude, boomers, dude, they just gamble their money away, and meanwhile we're all like, "Can we just get a house, please? Can we get can we just be set up with some generational wealth?" And I'm like, "No, I'm gonna gamble. Fuck yeah."
Yeah, I went on a cruise in February, and you're just on the boat, and it's one of like 4 activities on the boat.
Gambling.
Hold on, you didn't include
constant.
masturbation, so 5.
There's also thinking
Gambling,
about jumping
drinking.
off the boat. So 6.
So tell me about it. What are the activities you're thinking of? Let's hear them.
Well, there's drinking,
Of course.
drinking, line dancing,
All right.
gambling, hooking up, or masturbating.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, okay. So okay. I'm down.
And then sleeping.
Did they have a
What's-
comedian on the cruise?
They did.
Who was it?
Dino Vito, I believe his name was. And I didn't catch his
Vito.
first show, but I went to his second show and talked to him. I wish I should have went to the first show and just gotten time on the second one.
Yeah.
But I was drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the first night on the cruise, and I'd been drinking all day, and like the show just passed.
How long
you
was
know?
the cruise?
It was a total of 5 days
Did you go by yourself or did you go with a
with
group?
a family. It was a Margaritaville cruise.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I've heard terrible things about margarita.
blast.
You had a blast.
Oh, yeah.
He's the
It's
right
so
kind of
fun.
white to enjoy.
Yeah, I was
that.
gonna
Like
say,
he's
yeah.
the right kind of
Have a good
Caucasian.
time.
I know.
For sure.
Drinking, okay, that's it. I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Drink package. You get 14 drinks a day.
14.
Jesus.
Were you counting?
I hit it one day.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Buffett does not fuck around. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was sweet.
God damn.
There's like a little club, bunch of line dancing.
That's
I mean, all you
awesome.
do is just swim, chill out, drink. I'm good at making friends. So,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I had
All-inclusive
friends.
resorts, man. I've had the chance to go to those. Those are so fucking fun for that exact reason. Like not having to worry about picking up the check. Like I like to play the game whenever I get the chance to go. How far up the ladder can I go before you ask for my card? So I know what the line is. I got a fucking Johnny Walker Blue once. Yeah, Johnny Walker Blue, and I was like, "What's the next bottle up?" And he's like, "I'm gonna need to see your car." I was like, "I'll stick with the blue bottle." That's cool.
That's like
Can I get another steak? Like,
I got to go to the Pacers game last night. Not a great result.
No, no.
I've been to like the Lexus Loft in at a Pacers game, which is like a suite level, and they have like a buffet, and it's like all inclusive, except for alcohol, is what they say, but beer's included.
So you just drink beer.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, this semantics. Like, I'll argue semantics like an asshole.
Right.
I'm like, so no, but beer's good.
Listen. I know how to weaponize my white privilege. Give me a second here. I will fucking do it,
I'll
bro.
find the loophole. Just yeah.
So I don't have to pay.
Dude, I used to either when I was like in my 20s, I was working for this company that did blackjack, poker, like charity events, things like that. So I was one of their Texas
Indian or
Hold'em
regular?
dealers.
I'm just kidding.
Regular casino. But I was taught how to deal Texas Hold'em, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was there to deal, and the Boeing company had hired these folks out to do the Carb Day celebration at the Pagoda,
nice.
Right.
So, and this is post 9/11. I don't know why they let this happen. I am just in like a white shirt, black pants, and black shoes, basically missing the jacket. And I had a wrinkled business card for the company I worked with. And with no ticket, I managed to get a cop to lead me through the service entrances of the fucking racetrack, up the elevator, into the Pagoda to get to where the Boeing company is so that I can do my my Texas Hold'em game. And the whole time I was like, man, if I was lying, dude, you guys would be in so much fucking trouble. But I got there and they were like, hey, we pushed you guys back. You're not supposed to be here for like 2 hours. And I was like, fuck. Shit, well, what am I supposed to do? And they were like, well, we've got an open bar and some food over there, so just hang out. So when my boss showed up, I was like 3-4 beers deep and like eating shrimp cocktails. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? And I was like, dude, they told me to hang out, man. I don't know what to say.
Just chilling, dude.
Who the fuck are you, dude? I'm in a suite right now, dude. Fucking suck it.
Exactly.
Fucking gamble.
Dude, I don't know why you're talking to me like that. I'm actually your boss.
I think I'm actually driving one of those later that
Yeah.
said, I don't know how.
I was already fingering a girl by the buffet, dude.
Shrimp cocktail.
Shrimp cocktail, dude. He's out there. You get shrimp cocktail. You're acting funny for real, dude. You can't help it. You're there fucking. That's fun, man. I gotta do a shout out to the band Wonderlic because Brian and I are actually going to be working with them coming up here at the Highmark. We're gonna be. That's on May 31st. That's the day after your show. We're gonna be there. It's here in town at Menial Fountain. I'm ready to clown at that show because these people. I don't think they've ever done comedy there, at least as far as I know. Like
it'd
the
be
Highmark.
interesting.
It'd be interesting.
They might have done comedy back in the day, but I don't think
if it wasn't me and you, it wasn't real comedy. Whoa! You're fucking throwing shot. I'm just kidding.
Is
that a showcase or an open mic?
Honestly, they were like, "Hey, man, we need somebody to fill 30 minutes," and I was like,
nice.
I can do 15. That's the most I'm willing to do at a show with a bunch of people right now. And I was like, I'll just get Brian. I could probably do 30, but it's going to be real dicey towards the end.
very dicey.
I'm like, I could definitely headline, but it would be like, I'd be like, ma'am, what do you do for a living?
Yeah, crowd work is just not my forte. I just don't generally go there.
Do you go to Liberty Street?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
Do you fuck
Liberty.
around with the bucket?
Oh, so much.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
much strictly. I'll do like one joke and then I'll just run through the bucket.
Yeah.
Sometimes
So
the
that's-
bucket
I mean,
is
that's-
crap, though. Come on, you're like you open it up and it's just like anal fissure, and you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with? There's Jesus Christ.
Anal Fisher sounds like a guy.
That's what I'm saying. That is the whole joke. That's my
Yeah.
problem. Sometimes you open up the bucket pull and
Well,
the
just change
entire
it.
joke is like
Right.
literally right there as you read it out loud.
Well, just change
I
it.
think last time I pulled out like bitches titties.
Yeah,
And I was like, I like nice girl titties. And then I just pulled the next one.
Yeah,
It's just-
I mean, but that in and of itself can smash. But I mean, anal fissure just says this. I mean, anal fissure. But what about anal fisher? Now you got my interest. I would love to be an anal fisher.
I'm pretty sure anal's really popular in Fishers.
Yeah, there you go. Just keep it going
Yeah.
forever, dude. Yeah, I mean that's I love that bucket. I've been thinking about trying to steal a version of it for our show, just for because Brian and I Brian very much more than anybody likes to do. We do comedy on the spot. Well, we'll just ask the crowd, and our crowd's gotten pretty well versed in like just to write a topic. And cool. Brian's got better at being like instead of just being like somebody, he'll be like, hey, you specifically.
I love doing comedy on the spot, dude.
Oh, you do, dude. It's fun. Basically, Brian's like, I'm not writing this week. I'm just kidding.
That was the night.
You gotta hit up Jeremiah Watkins.
Yeah.
Watkins is shit.
Yeah, I gotta hit him up. Get on his show.
You talking about
Gotta get
stand up on the spot.
AI Mark Norman?
That's so funny.
Yeah, when he does that, it's like so
I've been like binge watching old Kill Tonys. Like I started from episode 1. I'm on like 187 now, and Jeremiah Watkins comes at like episode like 100. And he's like so young and fresh.
Insane.
He's always been hilarious.
Yeah.
And incredibly talented. I don't know. It's been fun. Now the show like really feels like a roast and not too much feedback.
Yeah.
I love the feedback. That's why
I think that's what's important about it. Now it's become more of a show and less of like a I guess less of more a
old
TV
episodes,
show.
There's a lot of advice and just tips being thrown around.
Yeah.
Which is been cool.
I just feel like ever since Tony said that shit about Puerto Rico and the whole fucking shit happened, like his eyeliner got darker and his attitude got darker, and it reflects in his work.
Yeah,
like
I feel like once he did that, he kind of because I mean, if you've followed anything that he's done, you know he's right wing. Like he's been right wing this whole fucking time.
Well, that's the thing. Like I'm watching the old episodes, and this was like before Trump was elected, and like literally over the past like 10 episodes is when Trump's like started to run for office the first time.
Yeah.
And he was in California and he like clearly against Trump.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's a
that was just so he could get spots. Let's be honest. He was like, if I'm going to get spots, I better be against Trump.
Right, but it's like I feel this when he got in trouble and people were like, "Oh, I can't believe you said." I'm like, dude, that's like saying I heard a bad rape or a terrible rape joke from Anthony Jeselnik. It shocked me, and I'm like, you
or Kyle.
You know who you bought a ticket for? Like, I don't think you
Kyle. Every time I'm around Kyle, I'm like, oh, he's got a new like dark. I love that guy. I think that's so funny. But he's so funny, dude.
Yeah,
he's probably it's funny because like I met I met you guys. You guys are fucking fantastic. I met so many great comics since I started going to Indy and like messing around with you guys. And that was like my goal in the beginning of the year. I was like, I want to get to my goal weight, which I was at, like when we started doing the mic, I was like 250. I'm at 170 now. Nice. Hey, I did hit 170 this morning, by the way, motherfucker.
Good job.
Dude,
Well done.
Don't say good job.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Brian. I'm just kidding. He's trying to be nice. I'm like, go fuck it. We're in a competition right now to see which one of us is more manorexic. But like, my goal from the new year was like to start going to Indy and shit. And I got my first booking in December. So I was like, oh shit. It was a little earlier. It was Kevin, actually. Shout out Kevin for that.
Nice.
Very, very great show at Monsters Inc. I got made fun of immediately by the comic that had brought me up. She was like, he's probably going to do a dick joke. I was the only guy comic on the show that was like part of the
Crystal Evans.
Who's ready for
She was
some
on the show as well.
comedy?
I like Crystal.
Crystal's sweet.
Yeah, Crystal's the
she's
sweetest.
fun.
She was on as a singer.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she wasn't on as a comic.
Interesting.
At the time, it was a comedy karaoke show where like you got paired up. If you were a comic, you got paired up with somebody who sang, and then you, as a tandem, would get judged by the crowd, and then whoever, if you won, you did a duet together. And if you lost, then you had to switch. So the singer had to do comedy. Well, the thing is, when I signed up for it initially, I thought I had to do both because I'm a singer. That's what I'm better. I'm an okay comic. I'm a way better singer than I am a comic, and which is hilarious.
Must sound like a goddamn angel.
I'm an okay comic, but that's very sweet. Dude, man, he's about to play his cards right. We're gonna be making out later. You want to be Kanye cousins? You want to be Kanye cousins? That's I've been using that on stage constantly. I just do it constantly. You want to be Kanye cousins, man? Let's do it. Let's fucking
I'm waiting for somebody to do like a super cut of like Trump and Musk over the new Kanye song. Like, it's not gonna be good.
My cousin
His name is Captain Apartheid. It is important that all Americans be constantly reminded that he grew up on the wealthy white side of apartheid. So we probably shouldn't be listening to this fucker about any goddamn thing he has advice on.
But did he have a choice in the apartheid, though? You know what I mean?
Is that, let me ask you.
He did.
Here,
He did?
Let me put
I
it to
didn't
you.
know that.
Let me put it to you this way.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Like that is the same as like it'd be one thing if he was like, I grew up watching this, so now I'm out here to make sure it never happens again.
Yeah.
Okay, but then there's everything he's doing.
Yeah.
Which says that like obviously the lesson didn't sink in.
Yeah.
Like obviously he's the smartest man in the world who's never read a book on his own country's history.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people don't like history. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
kidding. I'm
Exactly.
kidding.
No,
I do think it's weird when we expect people to know everything or to like everything. But yeah, I do think with him having like any type of, he's good at some things and I think he's bad at other things. And I think one of the things he's bad at is people. He's very bad at people. Like he's horrible at people. He doesn't see what he's doing and he thinks he's an edgelord, which I think is it's a hilarious thing for a 50-year-old man to try to be. It's like an edgelord.
Well,
like,
and you told us
bro.
before we started, don't say anything you don't want to put out in this. So these words aren't afraid to come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to me closely.
We're still talking about Kanye, right?
No, we moved on to Elon.
He is
Okay, cool.
I've added to an old adage: those who can do, those who can't teach, those who can't do either. They're probably rich. They fucking pay people. Elon Musk didn't invent Tesla. He paid to get it started. He didn't invent SpaceX. He paid to get it started. He didn't invent Twitter. He bought it. He didn't invent any of the companies that he has started or any of the technology that he claims credit for. He has simply funded the smart people who invented that shit.
Well, we started that problem by pretending like Steve Jobs was a genius. Like that's,
Exactly.
I mean, we do this all the time. People with money can get things done, and when they get things done, we're like, that's awesome. So, but like something like Starlink is fucking cool. Like Teslas are cool. I know people want to hate Teslas now, but like also it's hilarious. I mean, people want to like shit on Cybertrucks and then completely ignore like the Model S sitting right there. Like it's not the same company. And I'm like, oh, we can make fun of the Cybertruck and put like Nazi on it, but then that car, it's like, ooh, that's my Uber. It's here. You know what I mean?
I like to get Tesla of any kind's attention, and I'm like, hey, as soon as they roll the window down, I'm like, that's an inside toy. Why do you have it outside? You can't get that wet. You're not supposed to get that wet. Didn't your mom tell you? That's for on the carpet only. Sweetie, take that inside. You're gonna ruin your toy.
Dude, I was in like the Miami area, like Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, and I swear like everybody had a fucking it was like so many Teslas. I'm like, there's so fucking many. Like everywhere you look, it's a Tesla, and I'm like, god damn. I'm like, up here you see one, you're like, oh, look, it's a Tesla. Now I feel like they're becoming more and more like prevalent. For sure. It's weird how like that, like you go to different places and the different versions of wealth. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just see different like levels of wealth.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's wild.
Shit, I don't know if you know this, but Lawrence Township in Indianapolis has a Tesla cop car. And I know this because I drove past it one day and I had to I almost sped up to catch it. Okay. Do you know how dumb it is to speed up to catch a cop car? But that's how I was like, no fucking way. No fucking way. No
it's entrapment.
Way, right?
It's an entrapment car.
Right. And I was like, no shit. It's an actual Tesla and that's a fucking cop car. Holy shit.
Insane.
Yeah,
That's
Indiana
insane.
doesn't seem that progressive.
So, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. I had a full tank of gas in my Subaru, and according to my gas gauge, that's just south of 600 miles to the full tank. I really wanted to punch it. Like, I can kind of respect the law. I can't respect a Tesla. I could already see the future where they're like throwing me on the hood of my car and slapping cuffs and like I'm being hauled into it and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And all I'm doing is laughing, being like, did you see him die?
It is. It's funny because I work in a factory. Like that's part of like the stuff I do on stage. But like I work in a factory, and the entire factory it's a car manufacturing factory, and like with the every vehicle in there, I say every, but mostly most vehicles in there are like electric vehicles. Like they all. Yeah. It's these gas powered gas guzzling the type of like companies that make gas cars are using electric carts to it's so funny to me because I'm like, wow, we know more about that than most people that don't fuck around with it because we see it so often.
Yeah, everything. And gone are the days when you have to strap the propane tank on the back of the fucking forklift to get it to ride. Like,
unless you're picking up some big shit, but they still have that.
They do that for some of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot. That's a big ass battery.
To
work. But yeah, your smaller everyday stuff. I'm like, man, it's all electric.
It's just funny to me because these gasoline car manufacturers are all powered by electric vehicles.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's hilarious.
Yep.
And you don't know unless you're in there. Like I would have never known that shit. Yeah, it is.
Would you want a guy like me in charge of your transmission? I love drugs. We work right by each other.
Yeah.
I'm trying to plug something in.
See, dude, I see. I'm of a different mindset. Like I feel like my mechanic should have a meth problem. Like I feel like that makes you better at being a mechanic.
For real. It means you're gonna do a good job because you definitely want the work.
Listen, if I took it to Randy, it meant I needed it done now, and I needed it done for less than the actual place I should have gone. Okay.
You want to feel, you want to feel the guy getting his kids on the weekends. You want to feel that in your
exactly,
engine.
exactly. Those zip ties, how do
you guys? We've talked a little bit about Kanye, but how do you guys feel about the new Pope being from Chi-Town?
Oh, that's fucking.
Isn't that weird?
Good.
Isn't that weird though? Isn't it a little weird?
Kind of.
Just like a dude from the fucking South Side being like, "Hey, yo, let me get one of them deep dish altar boys."
I saw a video of him walking out to some walkout songs from Wrigley, and it got me hyped.
It got you hyped?
He's a White Sox fan.
Yeah, that's what the crazy Cubs. I saw that too.
He's a White fan.
He's a White Sox fan.
Very disappointing.
It's curious. There was my wife's former Catholic, right?
Yeah.
As I call them, corporate Christian. The Protestants franchise. Here's the manual. Read it yourself. Start a franchise, right? Corporate is don't read the manual.
Don't worry about it.
We'll tell you.
We'll tell you about it.
Yeah, just do what we say. Follow the rules.
Just say a couple Hail Marys and you'll be all right.
Exactly.
Just ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, you'll be good. But she was shared some with me. Apparently, there was some dude in the Catholic Church in the 1390 or whatever. He wrote out a list of all the popes.
Yeah,
and it predicted Francis. And after Francis is supposed to be the last pope of all, it says the dude who sits on the throne, the chair of St. Michael, causes the church to collapse into anarchy on
That's
itself.
To be American.
And it's funny because for a long time they refused to elect an American pope because America had too much political power. So the idea was we don't want to make the spiritual power American if they have all this political power.
Oh, dude, it's over.
Yeah.
Dude, I think they elected that man so that Donald Trump can't make fun of his accent or where he's from. I think that's the whole reason they went with a Chicago.
Yeah, but now Donald Trump has access to his entire internet
Right.
records, and so he's like,
Right.
"Hey, Pope Leo, we have an issue here." Fucking.
Gonna move the White House to the
Exactly.
Vatican.
I'm just waiting for him to insult the new. I'm waiting for there to be like a fight and him be like, "Listen, the new pope,
My new friend.
he's from Chicago.
My friend,
Chicago, not as good as a city as New York.
No.
Chicago is like what New York wants to be.
Yeah.
It's like little New York, but it's not as big. People say my hands are small. Chicago is small. That's what small people.
I'll put our pizza up against anybody.
Fucking yeah. Are you kidding? I would watch that fight, Vatican versus the White House.
Oh,
Bring
dude.
it on. End of days.
Yeah.
Let's go.
versus Italy pizza.
Dude, yeah, I mean, fuck.
I don't know about you. As I get older, I'm like, end of days, bring it on, man.
Yeah,
If that
man.
takes care of my car payment, my house payment. Like, think about it. I don't got to pay my mortgage anymore because apocalypse.
Yeah.
I'd be cool.
Do you have
with
any
that.
guns?
This like Pope prediction sounds
No, I took martial
Mayan
arts.
calendar adjacent.
What's that?
Like this sounds like some like 2012 Mayan calendar.
Yeah.
The religious version.
Yeah, it's just the Catholic.
I don't trust any religion. I need an intermediary between myself and God. I'm like, hey, I need to go to some guy in a dress,
Right.
and ask him to talk to God for me. I'm like, hey, brother, can you do that? And he's like, I guess just bring up his mom's name and we'll talk later.
Right.
It's
Well,
weird.
like, I mean, you think back in the church's history, there were like priests that would like need to be bribed to forgive you.
yeah.
They used to
Like,
sell things that
that's
allegedly
horrible.
bought people out of purgatory.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like Evan would die and be stuck in purgatory. The church would be like, hey, for a couple of bucks, we got a prayer. We'll get his
Yeah.
ass right into heaven for you.
And then the original.
Keychain will get you
Exactly.
into heaven.
Keychain.
This keychain.
Just buy 3 episodes of the Kokomo Press podcast
shit.
on. Subscribe to Kokomo Press podcast, and we will give you a token to heaven. Believe. That's
Yeah, you just gotta
hilarious.
believe.
Yep.
Well, there's that guy that you worked with recently, Brian. You worked with Rob Hines.
Yeah.
You guys ever seen the Jones barbecue 1 foot massage?
Yeah, I got to
That's
work with
amazing.
him. I,
Really?
Yeah,
I
he-
featured. It was awesome. Dude. He was so
cool.
nice.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
He's gonna come. He's actually gonna do the podcast at some point. It might be next season out.
Yeah. We got shit going
He's a
on.
busy boy, but yeah, it was awesome. It was a good experience. He was hilarious. He's really funny. So
But he has a character that he does called the Black Pope.
yeah, Black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
sounds like a
I mean,
good bit.
technically, this Pope is black. You know that, right?
Yeah, because he's from Southside, or?
No,
Oh.
because his paternal grandfather's from Haiti.
Oh,
When they emigrated to Chicago, they started going by white because they were white passing.
Yeah.
So his actual grandfather is from Haiti. So technically, we have a black American Pope.
Damn, dude.
When you guys want to
From
make
Chicago? Are the only leaders that we can get in power that are black have to be from Chicago, right? Or like have ties like Obama, fucking the
Exactly.
Pope?
I can't wait till he drops the N-bomb because he can't.
Yeah. I just imagine that mixtape, dude.
Indominus a party ski.
Yeah.
We had to censor that last one.
Yeah. Trump got me fucked up out here in these streets. What you.
Chicago.
Black like Logic's black. It's
Yeah.
like, sure.
Yeah, technically, yeah. I mean, so, but you know what? It's counts points on the board.
I'm not going to stop you from saying it.
Yeah. What am I going to say?
I mean,
about it?
that's the beautiful thing about racist people in America is that they are
Thank
willing
you.
to give you that one because they're that racist.
Yeah.
You know, they're just that's yeah. I don't like racism. It's lazy.
Yeah, it is.
Xenophobia is natural. It's perfectly normal.
Depends. Where does your racism come? Was it learned or
Exactly.
is it natural?
Like-
is it
like,
gen? Is it?
It's got to be. Have you ever met a family who has a poop knife?
Okay.
Yes.
Fuck
yeah.
Yes.
is this?
Okay.
What?
See? Look, that's xenophobia right there. And same there. Tell him what a poop knife is.
Poop. Okay, so. All right, so.
And then walk
Say
me through
you're dropping-
xenophobia.
Can we start this from like a point of what the fuck first? Like,
Oh yeah. No. What the fuck?
Somebody in your family's dropping a log, and the log is just
You want to share it.
unbearable. It's covering up the hole. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Take what's pretty much a fucking
Butter knife, according to Reddit.
a butter knife, yeah, a butter knife or the thing that you use in the pan. And what you do is you take it on there, and then you cut your turd. Cut it in fourths, whatever you got to do, and then you flush, and then it goes down. But that's your
You guys have impacted colons, it sounds like.
No, see, that's the thing. My family, we didn't do this.
snake.
No.
I can tell. Your family, you're not one of them. You learned about
I
this
learned
secondhand.
about it, yeah.
Exactly. And that revulsion, that's xenophobia. Okay,
That's
a
revulsion?
fear of others. That's a fear of a culture different than yourself because you're like, fuck, gross. That's
That doesn't
disgusting.
sound cultural. That sounds
That's
fucking.
like you're against
It is
colon
cultural.
medicine or something.
I
don't
knew
know.
Italians.
I knew a dude who I knew a couple of guys when I was working at Domo. They're older Korean guys, and they come back one day and they were honestly bloodletting one of the guy's finger. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm getting the bad humor." And I was like, "Get the fuck out of my kitchen with this
Yeah,
shit!
like,
Get
what are
out!
you
The health
doing?
department's gonna
Getting
come
the
in
what?
any second." He
came in
poked
with the
his
poop
finger.
knife?
No, they
The
were
poop knife.
bloodletting. So what they had done is he had pricked his finger, and the other guy was squeezing his finger to get the bad blood out.
Yeah.
because it's
This guy think he's George
Right.
Washington or something?
Right, no, that's what I'm saying. It's a cultural practice in some places. But in that moment, I kicked him out of the kitchen. I was like, dude,
Yeah,
health
yeah.
department, yada, yada. In hindsight, it's a cultural practice I disagree with, and it makes me feel gross because you're bleeding. And because of that, it stirs a little bit of xenophobia. In
Well,
me.
it's also
And I'm not
like-
afraid to admit that.
also
But I don't
dumb.
hate all Koreans because
No,
not all
no.
Koreans. But if you're
Koreans
bloodletting,
have
I'm going to
poop
hate
knives?
you.
Who has
Yeah,
poop
yeah.
You
knives?
can't
Dude,
do
they're
stuff.
Americans.
Yeah, what
They're
culture is
Americans.
poop knife? 'Cause-
Americans.
Is your toilet weak
I
or your
heard-
bowels just too
So,
strong?
I heard
can't-
about it. Robert
decide.
Kelly was on Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast, and Robert was talking about Shane was talking about it with Robert, and then they actually called Robert like on the phone, and Robert admitted to it. He was,
Okay, here's my thing. We probably got rid of that from colonialism because the word colon is in there. And it's like we were like, colonialism was like, that's why that word comes from. It's because we're like, hey, you need to work on your colon because you got shit knives, guys.
so fucking funny.
It's fucking stupid.
I feel like we've evolved to not need poop knives. Like,
I
feel like
wish
we have
that were the
toilets.
case. Don't go to. Well, actually, no. Do go to Reddit later tonight. Look it up. I bet it's still.
That might be just a bunch of people gaslighting us on the internet, though.
I
Because that's
don't
the thing about Reddit is there's a lot of people
believe
that
it.
see like something like that and they're like, ooh, like our small dicks. You guys ever been on our small dicks?
nope.
Yeah, me either. Me either. No, it's a hilarious
Never
subreddit. Like
posted that.
I've never. Don't look up small dick Jordan on there. Don't look that up.
Why's
no,
your Apple Watch?
Yeah, don't look. Why? That was who's calling me earlier. It was the one of the moderators asking me why I posted again. I've been banned.
We told you to stop.
No, but like, there's a whole culture of people like, man, fucking, I hate people with big dicks, dude. I wish my life. And it's basically like they like being humiliated for having a small dick. So really, they just go on there to talk about they love being humiliated.
Right.
For being,
Right. And
Yeah.
to my point, I would call those guys losers because
Yeah.
I have a xenophobia
well,
against your culture.
and that's cold. That's cold. That's what I was gonna say. You're xenophobic
You're a
against
fucking loser because your culture
You're
sucks.
you're xenophobic. Xenophenophobic.
Yeah,
I'm penophobic.
xenophenophobic, yeah.
Xenophenophobic. It's hard as fuck to say. I'm like trying to say it as hard.
No.
I think we all. It's funny because like there was. You guys ever seen that old photo of like the first time this African boy saw a white person? It's one of the funniest because it always reminds me of like, you know, you always get like the same like Caucasian white lady that's like, racism is learned, it's not taught. And I'm like, kind of, because if you've never saw a white person in your life and then you see him for the first time, you see this picture and she's like terrified, like they've seen a ghost, like almost.
Dude,
like
are you
they
kidding?
have.
That's the appropriate response. Have you read a history book?
Well, I don't know
Every
if they
time
have.
white people show up, they say it's fine. It never is.
How? I'm just kidding.
Exactly, yeah, that's-
We're going back to the Indian casita.
How?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a level of stereotype that protects you, probably.
Yeah.
That's why I don't trust white people.
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable in this room. No.
There was somebody. There was a I don't know who it was, a black comic made me laugh so hard. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how they were walking down the side of the road and the white person clutched their purse and went to the other side, and they're like, "That's fucking racist, that bitch." And then I went over there, so I stabbed her and stole her purse. And I'm like, "That's hilarious," because it's like it leans into
Isn't
the
that
fucking
one young like female comic.
So
where she's like,
the Kill Tony bit's so good. I thought that's where he was going with it.
yeah, she's
About-
like, so I clutched my purse, but then I remembered
He's not
for sale.
oh yeah, that's a horror.
Yeah,
There's so many comments.
but I think she follows it up by something like a tag about stealing something or
yeah, she killed it. That was like,
yeah,
it was a good
it's
bit.
hilarious.
That's
bit.
funny.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think I've seen that
edgy.
clip, but the one I saw
Gotta
was a
have a good
black
landing for
comic.
that.
Yeah, you got to. That's the. I mean, the problem with my biggest I always make fun of it because you do enough open mics, you're going to see people that you can tell that started comedy because of Kill Tony, because you'll see them come in and you'll be like, it's like. here we go. It's like the fucking Joker of racism. Like, here comes something like fucking like racist, sexist, xenophobic. Like, it's going to be some type of like edgelord humor that hasn't been well thought out enough that they've like rehearsed in their brain. They're like, this is going to fucking murder in this room. And then every time it's always like cricket sounds.
Yeah.
Like, every time.
That's like, if I'm trying to like say somebody's joke that's edgy, like there was once I was trying to say a Mark Norman bit, and it's like he's comparing like wine.
That's such a good joke.
It's a hilarious
It's
joke,
one of the funniest. It's the best pedophile joke of all time.
I'm scared to retell it now because I feel like I'm going to come across.
Right. Zig when you're supposed to zag and you're fucking done.
Well,
like,
it's the perfect syllable.
So bad if you don't hit every beat.
Well, he's talking about, pedophilia. It's a terrible thing to have happen. You know what I mean? Because, you're not born that way.
Yeah.
He's like, because, when I was 13-year-old, I like 13-year-olds. When I was 13 years old, I like grape juice. Now that I'm older, I don't like 13-year-olds. I like adults, and I like wine. But I still like grape juice. I still like grape juice. This close. Like, it's a fantastic bit, and the way he explains it, it's so good. And I've told people so many people about that joke, because that joke is so solid of writing that fantastic. The only way you get through that joke is if you tell it properly.
Yeah.
And I kind of just fucked it up. Yeah.
No, you did it beautifully.
It's close I can get to it.
Scary to me, because just thinking back about when I said it, people like my good friends were like,
no, but like I'm not saying I would fuck them, but I'm saying like she was cute.
Right.
No, you're not getting me. It's a Mark Norman bit.
Juice.
The juice.
It's about the juice, man.
It's like I was telling you when we were judging your show, being the judges for your show, and I say, like, I have some respect for them, but to a certain level, fuck you, crackers.
Yeah.
Like, how much is your building? We got better plans for it. No, and I only take shot at them because they didn't really do a lot to promote the local scene. They promoted the big names who come through. They promote themselves. They're not really doing much to promote you as an up and coming artist.
Yeah.
I will say, I do still love Jerry Goebel, and he's definitely like edgy and definitely like loves leaning into conspiracy theories. And towards the end, like the last show I did, I think the last two open mics I did there, he was like producing clips that he'd send to everybody on the open mic, which was a solid little gesture.
Right. Right. But at the same time, and I say this with no disrespect, but you can't do a solid gesture too little too late.
Yeah.
Like, part of the reason that we started our show is because I waited long enough for somebody to come along and say, hey, let's do this. And there was nobody. So we were like, well, let's get it done ourselves. If nobody's going to do it, let's get it done ourselves.
But it's the same thing. I think that's the most important thing is if you see a void, instead of being like, I wish somebody would fill it, like, fill it.
Well, and
if you can.
I did reach out to several people and shop around and try to work with some of the big, and it just didn't happen. But no, crackers, is like we talked about on the show. Unfortunately, when you go to a room, like sometimes here in Indiana, when it's a majority Caucasian audience and they're there for comedy, and you're a big name club like Crackers or Helium, white people laugh when they're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They not laugh. They sort of chuckle nervously when they're uncomfortable. And I think a lot of young comics took that as positive feedback for the worst fucking thing to ever come out of your goddamn mouth.
Yeah.
And now that you have to go into rooms that aren't big name club, mostly Caucasian, you're getting heckled and booed and crickets a lot more because that rape joke isn't funny. It's terrible, you know? So I think it's the biggest thing I've seen a lot of folks who are that, and you can tell because they're like, where have you done comedy? And they're like, oh, I've only done mostly the Helium and Crackers, and I'm like, oh.
But let's be fair too. I did so. Here's something that happened to me. This is an interesting story. The first time I did Indy, I did Cavan's show, and it was really great. I liked it, but my set. At the time, I had this entire chunk that I'd done many times around so many different people of all different cultures and backgrounds, and it's fine. It was fine. It's tough. I think I did part of it at your show, which is about things that actually happened to me. A lady at work came up and was like, "Hey, did you hear that Juneteenth is a holiday?" Right. And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And I'm like, "We get another day off." And she's like, "No, don't they already have Martin Luther King Day?" And I was like, "Okay." And then a little bit later, there was this guy, Big Tim, he's hilarious, black guy. He came up to me and he was like, hey, look over there. And there's a lady on the ground and her ass is in the air. And he was like, man, every time I come over here, she looks like a dog in heat. She got her ass in there. And I'm like, that's crazy. And then she got up and it was the Juneteenth lady. And Tim's a black man. So I went up to him. All I could think in my head was like, you're looking at a little old racist asshole. Like, that's the joke.
Yeah.
And it's a whole bit. But if you tense up too quickly on a bit like that, you can really get yourself in a terrible place. I followed that up with a bit that I have about the first time I ever learned about racism. It's a very crazy bit. It's bizarre. It's so wild, but it's absolutely true. So everything I'm telling you is a literal true story. These things actually happen to me.
Right.
And I'll do these in rooms with multicultural people. Like when I did that room with Kevin, there were multiple people who were black people. There were multiple white women. There was Hispanic. There was everybody. Everybody was in that room. It was like fully representation. I'm looking around. Fucking every black person laughing. Every white woman is getting. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And my thing is, if you're a white woman at a fucking comedy show and you hear something that might be a little bit racy, pun intended, look to your black people and see their faces, because honestly, it drives me fucking wild how many white women will clutch their black people. Look at their black people, the ones they think that they think they own their opinion because they think they can
get offended for people.
It pisses me off how many white women are offended on behalf of other people, and I'm like, listen, if the joke sucks, I'm gonna figure it out from the crowd. You don't have to do it yourself. Right. And my thing is, after the show, this is hilarious because like. When I did that first bit, which is about Juneteenth and shit, and then I go into the racism bit. When I said, "You guys want to hear?" I always do this. I do it, you guys, because you guys want to hear about the first time I ever went about racism. Okay, cool. Like I do that as like a joke, and one of the white women was like, "Sure," like as like a nervous, like trying to like cut me down. Yeah. I did the joke afterwards. One of the black guys come up to me and he fist bumped me and he was like, dude, that shit's fucking hilarious, bro. And I'm like, you're over here offended on behalf of a guy who thought it was fucking hilarious. Shut up, white woman, but please.
You're right. It's timing on these things can be like, for instance, Michael Halbig? No, I do not. Local comic down in, I think he's based, I don't think he's Indianapolis. He's based somewhere in Indiana, though. Michael Halbig.
Yeah, I think I've seen him at Crackers.
Yeah. I did a show I was emceeing for a guy over the West Side, and he was on the bill. And he comes up and he starts doing this bit. And this is the only time in my life where I've watched a kid.
Yes, I know Michael.
Yeah.
I'm here now.
He goes to do this joke that it had Nazis in it somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't think they were quite the punchline.
You've seen it?
Okay?
You've heard it?
But
no, I just know Michael.
And it's not a terrible joke, but it's not a great joke.
Yeah.
But what was fucking hilarious is that for some reason it's like he got himself stuck in a fucking mental sand trap. And for the next 5 minutes, every line of thought he tried to have kept coming back logically to the word Nazi. It was amazing. It's like when you're in school and they're like making you do stuff to like follow it. It's almost like there are a bunch of, and you could see him like see it coming and be like, fuck, Nazi. Now the room we're performing in, there's like 4 Caucasian people in the entire room. Okay, it's like me, Darren Feinsilver, Mitch. It's a majority black show, and that's fine. And what's hilarious is that we all were right there with them. It's the only time I've ever seen of a show where the entire audience was emotionally invested in seeing you not go back to the word Nazi, and we are all empathizing with the fact that you keep coming back to that key word. So we are dying fucking laughing as you cannot stop. Keep coming back.
It's like watching The Office.
It was amazing.
Cringe of it is so fun.
He got off stage and he was like, "That was terrible," and I was like, "You just had one of your best fucking sets."
Yeah.
You really did.
Give him 3 Sig Heils. Give him 3 Sig Heils.
Only person I'll ever see probably in my life to do an entire 5-minute set basically entirely on Nazis and fucking crush it. Okay, that can't be done. That cannot be done.
It all depends on the room with these things.
It really,
I did a full
really does.
like Nazi Hitler set at Planet Earth.
You go well.
Yeah.
It did all right.
Sure it did.
All the honks loved it.
Like 4 minutes of just tons of tons of just Nazi jokes at Nazis.
You know what? It's beating. The reason I have a theory on this. Okay, I have a theory on this because I don't like World War II movies.
Yeah,
I really don't. As an actor and a performer and a screenwriter,
you see yourself on the screen.
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, not even that. I'm just kidding. Not even that. It's like, dude, could you pick a different tragedy to try and get an Oscar off of than the fucking Holocaust?
Well,
like that's all, every Oscar season. That's all we get is all this sad crap, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: it's culturally ingrained. It's like as American as apple pie to punch a Nazi.
Yeah,
so making fun of Nazis is
you gotta have a Nazi set.
That's a white comedian. That's a flat comedian.
It's a badge or something.
If you're an American, it's part of your history. Like if you're a German, you have Nazi jokes.
I think Go ahead.
I did the Nazi jokes. I wasn't just like writing Nazi jokes.
Don't try to fucking justify yourself, motherfucker.
I wrote one like Hitler joke where I was joking about the Autobahn and the interstate.
Oh yeah.
And like, I don't know, made some Cinnabon pun. But anyways, I like ended my set the week before like on Hitler, giving Hitler like a shout out for interstates. And it was just a horrible ending point, you know?
You don't shout them out.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to my boy Adolf for making the Autobahn.
I'd like to dissociate myself.
Listen, I don't know what else he did, but I don't know what else he did, but I know that fucking road's tight, dude.
I'm gonna need to cut. I need to have you cut me out of the entire episode.
Yes.
That's just.
But so the next week, I was like, didn't mean to end on that note.
You started back.
Hitler jokes.
So you walked up on stage.
Pol Pot.
You walked up on stage. I'm just imagining a week later, Evan walking on stage. So as I was saying about Hitler, right? So he never fucking left.
He gets up on stage, right?
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, last week ended weird with Hitler. So Joseph Cooney.
Can we talk a little bit about my homie? He became like the head of the NASA program. No, that's so horrible. No, it's fun because like I feel like you can kind of hit any subject matter if you can make it funny. I mean, I think did you bring up the Jesselnick thing?
Yep,
and my big one is I'm a huge fan of Patrice O'Neill. I love Patrice O'Neill. Like I think he's so great. And I want to hit my favorite quote by him is like 50% of the audience should be laughing and 50% should be horrified. That's a particular type of comedy. I mean, if you get your audience, you should be 100. You know what I mean? But like or pretty close to 100
for sure.
You're gonna alienate their wives, of course, because you
got like you brought up The Office earlier. I love the like suspense and the awkwardness.
Oh yeah, that cringe feeling you get.
You know,
we
and
love
then the relief
Office.
at the end. If you could pull it off, is beautiful.
And that's comedy.
You know?
That's literally comedy. Is creating that uncomfortable feeling where you create that tension with the audience and then you break them out of it.
Yeah.
That I think when you become a good comic, like when you get your first joke where you say something, this is what they're trying to capture on the Kill Tony that like a lot of new comics don't understand is they think, oh, I'm building tension that I'm going to relieve. And it's like, no, what happens is you're not good enough to relieve the tension.
Yeah.
You've created a tension.
That's why I felt so compelled to do more jokes is because it just landed bad.
I don't bring up Donald Trump in the middle of my set. If I'm going to make a Trump joke, it goes at the end because again, it's that black hole of like he will kill the energy of these fucking jokes.
You're splitting the audience.
Split the audience.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's absolutely true.
And I mean, to bring it back to the roast too, like the roast, I feel like I'm just writing mean shit. Like I feel like a bully.
Right.
Oh yeah.
know?
It's the best, dude.
I mean, which is nice to have a just green pass to do horrible comedy. And a lot of my shit is self-deprecating, so it's nice to like direct that somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, I think there's also a way to do it where like you do it in a positive way, but you say something shitty. That's like my favorite version of a roast joke. Is when you're like, no, like I don't know if you've heard, but Brian's actually he's a really, really good guy. Yeah, like and then you fucking just destroy him right afterwards with
backhanded
compliment
in the face.
Yes, a friend of mine wanted to have a roast for his bachelor party, and I told him you can't. And he was like, no. He was like, yeah, I can. I said, no, you can't. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you the joke. I'm going to give you the joke that I'm going to fucking end on, and you are not going to want to do this. Ready? I said, ready? Buddy, I owe you an apology. Because the whole time we were in college, every time we had a party, you begged us, you pleaded with us not to let you hook up with your now wife.
Yeah.
And secretly, behind your back, as soon as you two were shit-faced, we would giggle and push you into the floor together so that you'd start dancing, make out, and ended up fucking in the bathroom. We thought it was fucking hilarious. We are directly responsible for you not knowing that you had a son until he was born in the fucking hospital. And we are directly responsible for you getting married to that same woman right now. So from the bottom of our fucking hearts, please know I am so goddamn sorry we did not listen to you. And he was like, shit, I can't have a roast. And I was like, no, you can't.
No, you can't.
You can't. It's a great fucking joke. It's true. It's 100% honest.
Yeah.
It'll ruin your current marriage. Like,
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say we waited until you were shit faced and we all tag teamed her together. I was like,
That's
No,
what
but
I was waiting for it too.
it was true. We
Like,
thought we were young and dumb. We thought it was fucking hilarious. Don't let me hook up with her again. We're like, okay.
Nathaniel Grainger.
I'm gonna kill this kid. These people do not know how to leave me alone. It's constant. And now my son's calling me in the middle of the show. My other one. I don't
It's
know.
5. Aren't you done?
Hey, Dad, will you send me money so I can buy my mom a Mother's Day gift? And I'm like, no, dude, I divorced her. I don't have to pay for anything. If anything, have her send me some support. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. We're in a good place. She's the 6'2" one that I talk about in my set.
Nice.
And he's the 6 foot
yes.
piece of shit son that I know. He's great. He's a great kid. He's really. I mean, his grades are all right, but he's a good guy. No, it's fine. Let's plug some shit and let's head the fuck out. We've been doing this for almost 2 hours, dude. My name is Jordan Grainger. I've been the host of the Kokomo Press Podcast. Over here, I've got my buddy Brian on. You got anything coming up?
Yeah, May 17th. I'm wiping the floor with this piece of shit.
Oh, fucking dare. Yeah, he's gonna be at Slight Night. So if you guys have
telling you now,
heard,
if I lose May 17th, I'm done. I'm retiring from comedy. That's
now
how
you're
fucking-
you're putting the stakes. See what he does.
If I win, you gotta shave your head.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
What was the NBA player who said, I'm going to walk to work if the fucking...
Paul Pierce.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah,
Paul
you
Pierce.
should do a Paul Pierce and be
22
like, I'm going to walk back to Kokomo if I live. Yeah.
Dude, I'll follow behind him on the interstate going slow as fuck, just laughing the whole time.
Me and Paul Pierce have a lot in common. We both like trains. Too.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
He's Paul Pierce. You both like PP. Evan, you got anything that you got coming up?
Yeah, the roast battle the 17th.
Hell yeah.
Also doing the 30th at Quacker's grand opening.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be there with you. I'm gonna be doing the production on that show. I had that.
right.
I forgot
Yeah,
to. Yeah,
that's
Kokomo
sweet.
Press is gonna be there, so I'll be running the sound and shit. So
Yeah, I saw that.
Hell yeah. That's
So-
going to be a great show. Aisha
Opening
Brown. I think Maya Smith's also
somebody else is
performing.
on that too. Who else?
Which might be a little awkward after I beat her the 17th at the
Oh,
roast
the
battle.
gauntlet.
But-
Man,
Well,
I've been-
Are you calling your shot now? Are you fucking?
Oh, I'm gonna
You
win.
Babe Ruth and it just put.
Let me tell you, I've had one other comic come on the show and say they're going to defeat Maya, and they walked away defeated. That was Darren. He came on before he did the show against
Well,
her. We were
I
bad
love
juju
Darren,
in this
but
place.
I'm not there.
Yeah. I'm not Darren.
Darren did great. Roasted himself.
What about you, Zach? I know you have obviously we
Yep.
want to throw.
Well, and that's the damn. I've been trying to get Maya on our show for the longest time. That's part of the reason I started paying artists. I thought maybe if I pay her, she'll actually fucking show up and come out and do our goddamn show. We'll be doing Department of Menial Humor. We film last Friday of every month. So
Coming up.
May 30th, we'll be filming. If anyone who wants to come out and be a part of that, you want to be the crew, show up, say I want to help, we'll find a role for you. If you're a performer and you're not booked like these guys are on the 30th, then you should be there. It's that simple because you could get paid if you're performing, and I'm going to reach out to a couple people, but fuck, I don't know if they're going to show up.
Yeah. I think that's the hardest thing is you almost need to book them, like straight up.
Exactly.
book.
Well, and also not this last show, but the show before that, we cast a short film that we filmed the following day from the people that were in the room that day.
Hell yeah. So there's opportunities to be had, people. So get out there.
Yeah.
Go to this. It's a May 30th at the wonderful Bar and Grill. That's 6880 Pendleton Pike, 6880 Pendleton Pike Unit D. Indianapolis, Indiana, 46226. And you can win a free shirt.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
That's yes. There is fine print on that free shirt.
It's
but
really small, though.
very small, and I'm going to go very quickly when I say
Like a
this.
baby
free,
shirt, or-
no, free shirt. Shirt may or may not be promotional shirt for the Department of Menial Humor. May very well be something I get from Goodwill, but who the fuck cares? It's a free shirt, right?
Yeah.
Like
He bought a shit ton of those Kanye shirts and he's
damn
giving them
straight
out.
did. I got a bunch of shirts that say Super Bowl champ 2024 4 Chiefs. We're going to give those away.
He got a bunch of those Kanye shirts. Kevin, I apologize, but I don't think Evan's going to make the show now. He's going to get one of them shirts after his set.
Yep.
I'm kidding.
No, I'm super excited for Aisha's show and for Mucky Ducks. So there's Tia Radford also does a live show where he's been filming. One of the things I've told our crew is that when we started this was we want people to copy what we're doing.
Yeah.
We are convinced that we are put out a quality product, and I'd like to say we're the Coca-Cola, but there's a very good chance that Evan or you or somebody else could do this better. And if so, man, by all means, you think you can do better than me, then fucking
we do a holiday special, and that's enough for me. We spend the entire month of like the end of November and the month of December filming holiday themed skits. And this last time I did all the editing, and it was a lot.
Yeah.
But if you guys ever want to check out any of our skits, we do have them on our YouTube page, and go follow us everywhere. Like, obviously, go follow us on our Instagrams, our fucking YouTube pages. Go find us on Facebook. You can probably find Brian on Grindr.
Grindr.
Yeah,
well,
he's
and
on
also we're breaking worldwide news. You guys made the news for the kitty litter thing, right? That was big news.
Yeah.
We recently just broke something on the Department of Menial Humor a couple episodes ago. Someone in our audience knew, ready for this? They knew the young lady who worked at Subway, who is the reason that Jared got a restraining order and had to walk to a certain other Subway that led to a sponsorship deal.
Hell yeah, dude.
Jared didn't start walking for sandwiches because he wanted to lose weight. Jared was a motherfucking stalker and has a...
My boy.
My boy.
My boy.
Dude, some girl, like, one of the women in our audience, like, I made a joke about corporate America and I referenced Subway, and she was like, "Oh, you want to know the truth about Jared?" And I was like, "What the fuck? Hold on."
Like, yeah, I already watched the documentary
Cameras
on that.
Yeah.
I've heard
he was
that.
from Indy.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
I read it was on. I mean, I'm sure it's probably affiliated, but yeah, I read something on I think Reddit or something. It was like, yeah, he's not.
She was the girl he was stalking?
He was stalking somebody.
And then he couldn't go to that Subway anymore, so then he had to go to another Subway, and he started walking, and then he started, and all he was eating
Who the
was
fuck
Subway.
wants a sub that bad?
Yeah, not him. Not him. He wasn't looking for a sub.
Yeah, he was.
He don't get a restraining order from a sandwich.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he might have been looking for a different type of sub. He's a dom.
Yeah, exactly.
So this girl, fuck it. So this girl getting a restraining order actually caused all those kids to get because he ended up losing the weight from what?
Not say you can't. I don't think you can say that because he lost the weight and became a Subway spokesman that he became a pedophile. I think he was going to be a pedophile regardless.
Yeah, but it's a lot harder to be a pedophile if you're trying to catch the kids and you can't.
It does prove, to bring it back full circle real fast to end us out here, what it does prove is this, is that it's scary how fast corporate America would adopt to fascism if Nazis took power. You'd go to work tomorrow and McDonald's managers would be like, "Okay, guys, I know a lot has changed. We've got burgers to make. Sig Heil. Everybody gets a sandwich today." Like, they would so fucking fast.
I don't know. America's
fast.
different. I just feel like we're a different country.
Here's how I know. Ready?
How?
When Jared got caught, sales at Subway sandwiches did not even drop.
Oh. Well, I don't think people. I mean, they associate him with, but they didn't think, all of a sudden there's going to be like something else in my sandwich.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what's one of the worst fucking things you can imagine your company being associated with, and there's not even a decline in sales when the news breaks that you're a part of that. Like, people were like, that's bad, but that meatball sub, fuck, for $5. I can't beat that.
Let's be honest. People that go to Subway and eat that regularly, they probably don't have a phone to the internet. They're probably just like, "Flipping, can I get a meatball?"
Exactly. They're probably sitting there like, Catholic Church, Subway, Catholic Church, Subway. Who's worse?
Not much different.
I still go to church on Sunday, so I guess.
I mean, the Pope's from the Midwest now. The Jared was from the Midwest. You know, it's all inclusive. Well, let me go ahead and real quick and say this: we do not like pedophiles. We do not like Hitler. These were all comics. We are comics. We are being comedy.
Making fun of.
And I speak for all four of us when I say that, including Evan, who is surprisingly quiet. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I too do not like Hitler. Fascism. I love black people, white people.
He sounds more like Trump now than he ever has. I like black people. Look at my African American over there. You know what I mean? Remember that?
I love all people.
That was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. Look at my African American over there. I'm like,
the
what
only people
the fuck?
I don't like are poor people.
Yeah, poor people can die.
They're losers.
They're absolutely. Pull your bootstraps self up.
Oh, man.
Anyway, let me go and throw it to everybody. My name is Jordan Grainger over here in my green chair.
Brian was
Over here in my black chair.
Evan Ham.
And over here in my red chair,
Zack Dzuba.
we had a great time tonight. Make sure you follow us all. Thank you guys for hanging out the Kokomo Press. 2 kisses. Thank you for watching the Kokomo Press Podcast. We really appreciate you hanging out with us. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share, and tell all your friends about it. Because when people know about us, we get to continue to bring new, great, exciting things to you. And if you really want to support us, you can actually go on to Facebook and you can become an official subscriber. It's only $4.99 a month, and you get a lot of access to us. You get to tell us good jokes, tell us all the things you want to, and you're going to get access to new videos, merch, all kinds of things. And if you just want to support us in another way, maybe wear a shirt, wear a hat, something like that, check out kokomopress.shop. It's a brand new store we have set up. It's got all our merchandise needs. It's going to have limited run t-shirts, limited run hats. Go check it out right now. Thank you so much for hanging out with the Kokomo Press on the Kokomo Press Podcast. See you soon. 2 kisses.